Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions. And it's not just me. I'm actually joined today by my brother from the same mother, D.
What is going on?
What's up, D?
How was your week?
It was all right. How about yours?
How was your? My week was fantastic.
Yeah.
How was
No
your
complaints.
week? Let us know in the chat how your week was.
So as we are getting into this today, I do want to let you know, if you are watching this on the replay, we add timestamps down in the description, and those timestamps will help you jump to questions that are important to you specifically. So make sure you hit the description, or you just kind of browse along the bottom of the YouTube player right now and look for the questions that you want answered, or maybe questions that you have that you didn't even know you had until somebody else asked them. Make sure that you check that out. But I also want to let everybody know that today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. It'll help you optimize your videos for discovery, help you test your thumbnails to make sure the thumbnails that you are putting out are effective for the people that you're trying to reach. It has like channel management features. So for example, if you have to change a bunch of descriptions, let's say you need to have like one link or one blurb of text, like this new FTC rule about disclosures that we're going to just kind of briefly touch on here in a bit. If you have to go into your descriptions and update them across your videos,
I've got one better.
TubeBuddy will help you do that quickly.
What if you're going to change out your Canva links because they're dumping all over small creators?
Yeah, and that too. We're going to be talking about that as well. Yes. So if you're going to have to change out your Canva links, then you'll also want to be using it. But you can check out TubeBuddy for yourself to see how it can help you at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. They do have forever free plans, and they also have paid plans as well. Of course, the higher up you go, the more features you get, just like everything else in life. But this stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard. StreamYard's the live streaming platform that we use to stream this every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that we use StreamYard is because it's easy. It's easy to add graphics to the screen, like you just saw us change in terms of the sign there on the front. It makes it easy to bring on guests when we bring guests on. Makes it easy to have these little scrollers going across the background. But bigger features that they have is they actually record your streams in the background, so you can download them right after your stream and repurpose them if you want. They also make it to where you can record a podcast with it, and it actually records from both locations so that you get high quality from each side of it. All kinds of great features with StreamYard, but you can try them out at StreamYard.com so you can see all of the awesome features that they have that can help you have amazing streams and podcasts. And even webinars, as a matter of fact.
More importantly, they have an awesome cup.
And they have a great
I'm only
coffee
using,
mug.
Full disclosure, I only use StreamYard for
because they're mugs.
That's it.
Oh, love it, love it, love it.
And I have a thing for mallard ducks.
Nice.
That's it.
So as we get into it today, thanks for the super chat. Top Cat Talent Show says, hey, great coffee song. I still want you to perform live or a video on my show. I don't do live performances like that. I'm not that confident in the music stuff. I edit all of that together because I'm not good, live. Unless I'm just talking, then I'm okay, I guess. But like when it comes to that sort of thing, that's definitely not my wheelhouse. But I super appreciate the invite for that. But really quick, as we're getting into this, I just want to say what's up to Chantel. Hope you're doing awesome. Learn Spanish World. Nice to see you in the chat today.
Ooh, in Cabo.
Sam Bowen, hope you are doing great. SMA Sky, hope that you're doing awesome too. Monica Joyner Sledlack, sorry about that. Hope that you are also doing great. Stormy Sky Rail Productions, nice to see you in here. Hope everybody's had a great week, and I hope that you are excited and pumped up to learn about YouTube today. So if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that that there's a form down in the description below right now, and if you have a question about anything that you're trying to uncover about YouTube, or any troubles that you're having with YouTube, or anything that you're trying to better understand, go put your question down in that form right now. And if you do, then based on the amount of questions that are currently in here, it will get answered on the stream today. So if you have a question, make sure, if you need some help, essentially is what I'm saying, then make sure that you, put your question down in the form so we can get it answered on the stream here for you today.
The amazing thing about going
Candy
live.
Apple TV, what's going on?
The amazing thing about going live is we've been sitting here for an hour. And not only have we been sitting here for an hour, but you've done previous streams.
Yep.
And you've adjusted that microphone countless times. Yep. And not once did you adjust it while we were sitting here for the past hour.
Because I wasn't using it.
And then as soon as you go live, but nothing's changed since the last time.
Well, I'm moving, right? So like
that's
I'm
what you
moving.
have the arm for.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you mean the actual microphone itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I do that.
I don't know. It's like a weird.
Oh, you know what happened? I was grabbing it like this, and I was holding it, and it was like a little bit loose. So I just kind of reached up and tightened it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. Yeah, it is. I'm rolling with that one today.
That's the hill you're going to die on?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Let's answer some questions.
Yep. All right, let's do it.
So question number one.
Very first question here is from K Skis. K Skis uploads when they have time. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is gaming revolved around anime, sports, etc. The goal of the channel is to reach 90 subscribers and make entertaining content. The question is, so recently I've been seeing that my videos on TikTok have been doing well. I even have one get over 800 views. I currently have over 150 followers, but it seems like whenever I tell them a new video is out, not reaching the results I expected. I know you and many others have said that it's bad to expect high expectations for us smaller channels. Hold on. It is not bad to expect people to respond well to your content if you know that you're making good content, right? So I don't.
Come on, get it out.
With new content creators, the issue is usually that, there's just a lot of stuff that, if you're new to the platform that you just haven't, figured out yet. So because of that, it can be more challenging, but, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're, that you are not going to be able to have a good video right out of the gate. So I just want to make that clear. But anyway.
I want to say I think they're selling themselves short.
I do too.
Because they said their goal is to get 90 subscribers. Why not make it 100?
Yeah, why not make it like 9,000 subscribers, right? I guess, taking those steps up, right?
I'm just saying
90,000. Why not 900,000?
Why don't you just get
Why are you going after Mr. Beast? No, I'm just kidding.
Why don't you just do 100,000 and get a play button so you can get your play button before you get mine?
Here we go again. Okay, so the let's hear the rest of the question. Says, let's see here. It's out, not reaching the result I expected. Let's see here. But it's a little bit upsetting. So I'm doing something wrong in TikTok. Should I just wait and be patient with it? So here's the thing. Our stream is focused on YouTube, and all things related to YouTube. TikTok is not my wheelhouse.
We should branch out to.
TikTok isn't my wheelhouse. You can. TikTok isn't my wheelhouse. I don't pay much attention to TikTok because I'm focused on YouTube. So I upload stuff over there, from time to time. So make sure you're following me over there if you haven't. But it's just not something that I'm like, super serious about. But YouTube, this is like my jam. Love it. So because of that, it was about TikTok. Just basically, they're not getting the views that they want
on TikTok.
Yes.
Okay. So the TikTok algorithm works just like the YouTube's algorithm in terms of it's trying to find videos that they think the audience is going to want to watch. So I would just say keep uploading. I don't know how many videos you have on there, but just keep uploading, and they're going to figure out who your audience is. And when they do make that connection, that's when you're going to start seeing views.
Tiffany, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing awesome. So next up on our list here, we got Learn Spanish World. Learn Spanish World says the goal of my channel is to offer value by providing free Spanish lessons to my community while I work hard to become a full-time YouTuber. And the question is, hey, Nick, thanks for your great streams. I've learned so much from you. My channel now has over 120,000 subscribers as a result of your advice. I'm a bit confused with my audience preferences. It seems people prefer watching my Learn Spanish While You Sleep videos over my well-structured Spanish lessons. Those videos drive the most subscribers, make me the most money and views. Should I start producing more of those videos instead? While I keep experimenting with new formats and simple lessons, it seems people prefer simplicity over complex material. The easy pill over hard work. I've been told that we must listen to our audience, but I fear that if I concentrate on these, I'll lose my credibility as a Spanish teacher. Any advice? So the very first thing to think about in this scenario is, of course, your goals, what it is you're trying to accomplish with the channel and all that. So, for example, if you're like, hey, I have a Spanish course and I need to drive people into that Spanish course, and because of that, I need to be putting out, the other type of content as well so that I can spread awareness about that course and I end up making, money from that course, then in that case, it makes sense to, kind of mix them up or have a different channel that you use for the purpose of driving people into that course. And then you use the channel where people are currently responding well to the Learn Spanish While You Sleep content, just having that for the sake of ad revenue, and then of course to help spread awareness about the other channel that you have as well. You could do that, but if you didn't want the headache of having multiple channels and things like that, if you don't have courses that you are selling to, you don't have any other products, and the only thing that you're focused on is YouTube ad revenue, then in that case, give the audience what they want. If they're coming there for the sleep content and every time you publish one of those videos they do well, then in that case, keep publishing those videos. Just run it for like 30 days, 90 days, and see, how people, see what it does for your channel, and see if it just consistently keeps getting that good response from, that particular type of content. One of the things that YouTube says is that the algorithm follows the audience. And the whole idea there is if people are enjoying your content, then YouTube's going to keep showing more of your content to them and showing that content to other people and so on. So because of that, embrace, everybody here, embrace when you have content that people respond to.
So last week I learned about roller coaster games where people could build roller coaster games.
Did you go down that rabbit hole at all?
I looked a little bit.
Okay.
Some really interesting stuff. This week, I just learned that people are listening to foreign language videos while they sleep.
Oh, you mean just now?
Yeah.
Just now you got that?
I had no idea people were putting on foreign language videos to go to sleep to that.
It's interesting, huh?
That's fascinating. Yeah, I would love to know the science behind that, to how much we're actually absorbing while we sleep.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
he might be able to tell you. I'm not sure.
I'm going to check your channel out.
Yeah.
I'm going to check your channel out. And I'll let you know. But this time next week, I'm like, speaking Spanish.
Right.
Yeah.
Never know.
You never know.
Yeah. So, one thing to think about too is when you are publishing your videos to YouTube, if you are wanting to be a full-time content creator, you can absolutely do that with YouTube ads if you have enough volume. But in a lot of cases, YouTube ads are a good supplemental income if your channel, either isn't huge or you just don't crush in volume with views. YouTube ads can be a good supplemental income. But I do recommend, if you are wanting to go full-time and you want that to happen faster, that you do find other ways to monetize. Renee, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream today. Hope you're doing awesome.
Hey, Renee.
So
I just never even thought about language. I'll fall asleep listening to music all the time. It never occurred to me to listen to language courses. That's
now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know. Now you're gonna be learning all kinds of stuff.
Right. It's gonna be like
you're gonna be like, heck, if I can learn all this while I'm sleeping.
Right.
You know how they say if you don't learn how to make money while you're asleep, then you're gonna work until you die.
Right.
So it's gonna be the same way with language. Right. So it's like, hey, if you don't learn how to learn languages in your sleep, then you're never gonna speak another language.
It'll be like that scene in the scene in the Matrix where Keanu gets pulled. They jack him in and they pull it out. And
he wakes up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know kung fu. Right.
Yeah.
That'll be me. I wake up every day. Whoa. I know Portuguese. Whoa. I know Spanish. If only it were that easy.
Yeah, he says you won't learn a language overnight by listening to learn while you sleep, but it will definitely help you reinforcing your previously learned vocabulary and pronunciation.
That's fascinating.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So next up, we got Jabari's Fitness. Jabari's Fitness says that they upload one time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is fitness for beginners and teenagers. And the goal of the channel is mainly targeted to beginners starting their fitness journey. I began fitness at 11 years old. Since I gained knowledge about fitness, I wanted to share it. This channel was created when I was 13 to provide people with useful fitness tips to help them become the best version of themselves. I'm dedicated to bringing the best fitness, entertainment, inspiration. Okay, looking for the...
How old are they now? How old are you now?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
If you got into fitness at 11, you started your channel at 13. How old are you now? That's fascinating.
So the question is, how can I increase my watch? Yeah, I know, getting on the grind at 11. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you probably have a bright future.
Yeah.
It says, how can I increase my watch time hours as it begins to decrease? How can I make my content stand out as a young fitness content creator? Why are people not now buying my merch? I don't know if that's now or not. I'm not sure. But okay, so one question: how can I increase my watch time as it begins to decrease? So on YouTube, just so you know, if you are talking about watch time as it relates to getting into the YouTube Partner Program, so watch time is a rolling thing, which means that the watch time that you collected today of last year, that's going to fall off tomorrow, right? It's not going to count towards your monetization anymore. However, the people that go in and are interacting with your content, today, that will count, towards that. So every day makes up for that year, or that day where the watch time that you got a year ago that fell off. So that's just like the natural part of it. So because of that, they're 13 now. So because of that, and they're turning 14 on the 10th. So happy 14th birthday.
Yeah, man.
But
happy early birthday to you.
But basically,
get them reps in, son.
Get them reps in, right?
Yeah.
But
don't skip leg day. Come on. What are you doing? Come on.
But basically, as it's falling off, at the from last year, then you have to make sure it's being replaced this year. But in terms of how do you just really stack up watch time, instead of making individual videos, of course individual videos have to be made. But when you're thinking of okay, over the next 90 days, the videos that I'm going to be putting out on my YouTube channel, is there any way that I can put these together in a way to where it would make sense for people to watch this video and then this video and then this video? We call that a series. And then by putting that series together, then it gives people a reason to watch the other content. But of course, the main goal is you have to make sure that you're also getting at least a decent amount of people through the entire video that that originating video, so that they have that opportunity to actually click in and watch more videos. But, you know, making sure that you're doing that, making sure that you're just using general YouTube best practices of using your end screens, making sure that you're using pinned comments to lead people into additional content, that you have links in your descriptions leading to additional content, making sure that you have your channel page set up properly. So for the curious people, they go to your YouTube channel page after they enjoyed one of your videos and they're looking for more of what you made, then that way, you know, if you have your content organized into sections on your homepage, it just makes it really easy for people to find more of the content that they care about from you. So because of that, just make sure that you do have those best practices in place, the same, you know, with YouTube cards as well. And the whole idea with that is you're just trying to make it easy for people to find more of your content that they want to watch. So it's not, you know, difficult to set that up. All you have to do is you have to think about, if somebody's watching this video that they came in on, what is the next logical step for them? And let me recommend at the end of my video that they go and they watch that particular video or playlist.
I got somebody chiming in from South Africa.
Nice,
Greetings.
nice. Welcome. Greetings.
Yep. Someone in here from Malaysia.
Nice. Well. Aussie
nice.
Walks. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah.
Through the M. Hope that you're doing great. So next question that we have here on the list, and if you're just joining us, we're pulling the questions that we're answering today. We're pulling these from the link down in the description that goes to a form. All you got to do is hit that link, fill out the the information that you need to know or that you're wanting us to talk about, and then we'll get it up on the stream today.
Tom Nash, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Tom? Hope you're doing awesome, dude.
SM Postcards, how you doing?
Moraine Cresp says they upload one time per week or more. The goal of the channel is to inspire and community. Question, if you need to make changes to live stream broadcast times, test in small increments, question mark. Example, half an hour earlier or later or a bigger change. So the best thing that you can do when it comes to live streaming is streaming when the people that are interacting with your content are online. And the reason for that is because when you go live, YouTube's going to present your content to them. They're going to show it to them. And when they, are showing it to people, you want to make sure that you're live when the most of your viewers are online. So if you go into your analytics right now, as long as you have enough data on your YouTube channel, because sometimes this takes a little bit of time to show up, but if you have enough data on your YouTube channel, you can go into your YouTube analytics, then go into your audience tab. And then if you scroll down the page, you're going to see an option that says something along the lines of when your viewers are online. So you want to make sure that you are looking there. And when you're going live, it's different than when you're publishing a video. Technically, when you publish a video, the time that you publish, doesn't matter. But if you do want to see those faster views initially, then you also want to, publish right before, or right as I should say, people are coming online. So it would be, as you start to see the color get darker, that's where you'd publish your video so that you can, basically just publish as your people are coming online. But when you're going live, it's a different thing because you want to make sure that you're going live when people are already online, if you're wanting people to join you while you're actually live. If you're just like, hey, I'm just live streaming just so I can make some content and then I'm really going to get the views on the replay for this, then in that case, it falls into that category again where it's not as important. But if you're like, hey, I want people to join me while I'm live, then you want to make sure that you are going live when your audience report there is in that dark purple spot.
We have somebody from Scotland. We have somebody from Pakistan.
Nice.
Wow, man.
Nice.
I love this international community coming together. I feel like we could organize something. Remember Fight Club?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, why couldn't it be something positive?
Right, Creator Club.
Yeah, Creator Club. Okay, that works.
I'm not talking about
works.
like, I'm not taking down the
D's
financial.
not sleeping. Yeah,
right.
D's not sleeping anymore. Yeah.
Right.
So
first rule of Creator Club. Don't talk about Creator Club.
So the next channel is How Big is the Map? They upload one time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do gaming content. The goal is to walk across all maps of all open world games ever made. Wow. Super looking forward to see what you do when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. That's supposed to be pretty huge. But anyway, I think you still got like 2 years for that or maybe another year. But it says, I know you drink coffee when you do these live streams, but it's like 9 p.m. in Thailand when you start. Don't you have any problems falling asleep after the live stream? This is not an off-topic question because your channel is about YouTube and coffee. Love it.
Well, we got things to pick us up. We got things to take us down.
Yeah.
Like yoga.
Yoga. Yeah. So, so in addition to that, like when I stream here, I also have to drive for like another, 30 minutes or something to get home. So, so because of that, like we have the stream, and then after that, I got to go home. D's got, a little bit of a drive that he's got to do too. So, fortunately, both of us are night owls.
Yeah.
So, even if I wasn't doing this live stream, I would still be up until, probably 2, a.m. or so, maybe later, depending on what's going on. So, it's really not that big of a deal. Sometimes it is. If I didn't sleep, that great on like, that Friday night, then in that case, sometimes the Saturday nights are a little bit rough, especially on the drive back. But most of the time, it's not a problem at all.
Can we do something different?
What do you want to do?
I see people posting where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't everybody post where they're from?
Okay.
And if there's a place in here that's either just really stands out or a place I've never heard of, let's pull their channel up and just like give them a quick channel review. A little mini review.
Okay.
Want to do something different?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yep.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it.
Are you going to give me the
So
evil eye?
how you going to organize that?
I'm just watching people's countries come up. I'm just thinking, wow, there's some,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to see if there's a place where I'm like, wow, I've never heard of that before.
Okay. Let's do it.
Just randomly. Yeah, go ahead and talk. Yeah, where are you from?
Yeah, let's do it.
Stump me is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so it
Stump
seems like
me.
the strategy here, if it's a place you've never heard of, is to just make something up.
No, because they don't know what I don't know.
Well, right, but if they just make it up, then it's 100% guaranteed you don't know.
Yeah, but if it doesn't exist.
Like, that would be the approach I would take. I'd be like, oh, he doesn't even know this place. I would just make it sound like something,
I'm
and he'd be like,
verify.
oh.
Hey, you got a super chat.
Super chat.
So Virtual Hi-Fi says, after I get monetized, if I upload a video of copyrighted music, that video won't get monetized. Can such videos affect channel monetization of other videos? Hold on. After I get monetized, if I upload a video of if I upload video copyrighted music, I don't know if you mean like if it contains copyrighted music, that video won't get monetized, which is correct. Can such videos affect channel monetization? Oh, got it. So basically, when it comes to getting like copyright claims on your videos, so the copyright claims themselves are individual for the video. It does, actually show up inside of your like channel dashboard, so you will see that. But if it's a copyright strike, then in that particular case, it causes problems. So if you get a copyright strike, then that actually ripples across your channel. You can lose like YouTube features and things like that. But when it comes to a copyright claim, all that means is that they are claiming the ad revenue from that video. So copyright claims are unfortunate, but they're not like that big of a deal. Copyright strikes, however, you want to avoid those at all costs, because all it takes is 3 of those and your entire channel will get taken down. So just be really careful when you're using copyrighted music, because some people will claim it, right? Some people say, hey, not a problem. We'll take the ad revenue for this. Other people, like the Eagles, for example, will put a copyright strike on your channel. And again, if you get 3 of those within a 90-day period, you're toast. And according to YouTube's terms of service, unless they've changed anything in the past like year, if you lose a YouTube channel, then you also are not allowed to create a new one. So basically, any of your hopes and aspirations for YouTube just get evaporated if you if you get those 3 copyright strikes. So just keep that in mind.
Somebody said Whoville. That was pretty clever.
That is clever. Yeah, but that's not a real place, right? I mean, maybe it is, right? So are you going to pick it?
No.
Yeah, pick it. Pull it up.
Nobody stumped me yet.
Oh, okay.
It just caught my attention.
Oh, you know these places so far?
Yeah, nothing's really stumped me. Hold on.
Okay. So I'll keep answering questions while you're looking for those.
Yeah.
So ARF World is the next question. ARF World does bi-weekly content.
What is Ohio? What
aircraft.
Ohio?
Yeah, I saw Monroe, Ohio in here. Shout out to Monroe, Ohio. Yeah, it's like a little bit north of where.
Okay.
Of where
we might have a winner. Hold on.
Uh-oh. So the goal of this channel for the aircraft channel is 100,000 subscribers. The question is, what do you do to stay consistent over the years and avoid burnout? I'll be honest with you. Like, I've burned out a few times over the years. And fortunately, that has kind of taught me, just kind of going for it and burning out has kind of taught me like how to not burn out. Mm-hmm. So the most important thing that I would say is to make sure that you are prioritizing, yourself, because when it comes to YouTube or really anything, like if you are somebody that just goes for it, then it's really easy to put in, tons of work and tons of effort into a YouTube channel and just go all in. Because when you are, first starting to get that momentum, it can be super exciting because you're like, man, all this work that I've put in, it's all starting to work. This might actually turn into something. And then that makes you even more aggressive, or it might, it can make you even more aggressive. Then you start going even like, more intense and, publishing more and networking more and doing like all this stuff. And then like the next thing you're like, okay, this is great, but like I've just completely exhausted myself, right? So the win or the way to keep that from happening, in my opinion, everybody's different. Everybody does like stress management and, you know, like balance and all that stuff differently. But, you know, in my opinion, just making sure that you are taking dedicated time for yourself and that you're scheduling like, okay, from this time to this time is usually when I work. And from this time to this time is usually when I hang out. This time to this time is usually when I do these other things. And by doing that, it just kind of helps you know when the stopping point is. Because, you know, if you're anything like me, there is no stopping point unless you actually define it. Like, you know, for a really long time, you know, like I would, you know, wake up at whatever time and then like, you know, I would go out and run around because that's kind of, you know, what I do. Like my schedule is I don't work right when I get up. I basically go out and then I just enjoy my day while everybody else is at work. And then, you know, I go in the evening and then that's when I do my work time usually. So because of that, it's really easy to kind of get in the zone. And if I don't put those blockers on myself in terms of like, I have to stop at these times so that I can, you know, be a normal functioning person, it's really easy to stay up until, you know, like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. in front of the computer. D, how many times have you been like, hey, let me just work on this thing real quick? And then next thing you know, it's like 8 a.m. and you got the light coming in from like the windows and you're thinking to yourself like, oh, wow, it's like 8 a.m. I should probably get to bed.
Yeah, yeah. So for those people who don't know, this room, and I've got a workstation over here, this room is completely blacked out. It's like a casino. No sun in and out. Mm-hmm. So you have no reference of time. There's no clocks unless you look at a phone. You have no reference of time. Mm-hmm. So there have been times that I've been in here and I've been working and just like building cosplay stuff. So I'm not even paying attention to anything, listening to music. And like I just happen to glance at the phone. It's like, you know, 7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it completely gets away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
absolutely.
So that's kind of like the curse of a night owl. Yeah. But also, you know, like if you want something in life, sometimes you have to go through periods of time where you are, you know, kind of going after it. So because of that, when you are going after it, you just have to make sure that you are, you know, slicing out time to, you know, give yourself a break. Because here's what happens, is when you're always going for it, yes, you're always immersed and it's awesome because you're just like, you know, you're living it. But when you take a break, it can cause you to think of things differently, right? Mm-hmm. Like just going and just sitting somewhere and just kind of watching people walking around or whatever, it can just cause your brain to work a little bit differently than sitting there in front of the computer and just kind of like, you know, or the camera, whatever it happens to be, and just like, you know, sitting there doing the thing. When you take that break, it can just kind of make you, you know, think a little bit more creatively because you're not sitting there, you know, in that same environment that you're always in when you're grinding it out. So, so because of that, you know, my best tip I would say for avoiding burnout and staying consistent is just give yourself the time to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. In addition to the work stuff that you're going to
burn out.
In addition to the work stuff that you're doing, also making sure that you're giving yourself time to enjoy the rest of your, you know, the rest of your life too. Yeah,
you're going to burn out. I mean, it's inevitable.
Well, you could. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to.
At some point. If you
manage things like hey, you know, if you're like a full-time content creator and you're like, hey, you know, I'm going to work from this time to this time, just like everybody else, you know, that has jobs. I'm going to work from this time to this time. And then after that, I'm going to, you know, essentially clock out. Yes, you're always thinking about it, but, you know, that gives you time to, you know, go do the stuff. So I think that's a great way to, you know, avoid burnout overall.
Are you saying in front of the studio audience here?
Yes, studio audience.
That
no clapping. We're done with this, everybody.
No clapping. Yeah. No clapping. Are you saying here in front of the interwebs that you believe that some people can go through life without ever experiencing burnout?
Totally.
Really?
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Ever?
Yes. Yeah, without experience.
I will die on that hill.
Yeah, like I believe, I don't know about life,
on that
but
hill.
when it comes to like, you know, being a content creator, without question,
okay,
I think people can
put a time limit on that.
I think people can do that. I think people can do it for an entire career and not burn out.
I'm gonna agree to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, like
at some point you're going to hit some level of burnout.
No, I disagree. Yeah, like I think that
you've burned out. What are you talking about?
I know I have.
So how can
I know how
somebody who said this,
because I know how I could have avoided it, but I just didn't want to.
How many times have you burned out?
Probably a good 3 or 4 times.
So
if
you
I'm
obviously
honest.
learned nothing from the first.
Yeah, well, I learned
2 or 3 times.
But I just didn't. I didn't commit.
But I wish I had that little mouse thing.
Right. Right. I know. Right. Yeah, I just didn't commit to not burning out. Right. But I've since committed to not burning out. So I'm good.
No. So here's what I think. So
this is great right here. So Renee says Eminem famously started recording at 9 a.m., took lunch at 1 p.m., and finished at 5 p.m. Even if he was in the middle of a verse, he'd get up and leave and finish it the next day.
Yeah,
totally.
I've heard that. So I want to. So here's the thing. I believe everyone's at risk of burnout at some point in their life. but it's a matter of what happens when you burn out. Right? Do you have the systems in place, and do you have the discipline to keep pushing through the burnout?
Who here feels burned out right now?
I think that's the difference. That's the difference. Because you can burn out, but you can also keep going through the burnout based on the systems you have in place, the discipline that you have. So if you burn out and you lack the discipline to keep going for whatever reason, maybe it's depression or something like that, then I think you're going to burn out.
Being depressed is different than being burned out.
I don't know, but that.
Like if you have depression, that's a whole other thing.
Those can kind of get intertwined in together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a whole other thing, and compared. Yeah, so Chantel says I keep going through the burn. I used to too. Like my thing initially, which is why I've had multiple burnouts, is I used to have a little message at the top of this home screen that I made for myself. So basically, it was just like an HTML page that I made for myself, where I just had a bunch of quick links, to like all the stuff that I needed to get to. And I had a little quote at the top of that said, when there's nothing left to burn, set yourself on fire. At the time, I was like, oh, that's, super, motivating for me, because that means if I don't have the energy, just find a way to make it happen, right? Sacrifice yourself essentially to make it happen. But looking back, I'm like, yeah, that was silly. I shouldn't have, been I shouldn't have let myself think that was the right
Are you the person who caught my house on fire that time?
That was me. Yeah, that was me. Yeah. Just so you know.
Neighbors said, yeah, I saw a man on fire running out of the front yard.
Yeah, that was me.
That was me.
You. Yeah, that was me.
Interesting.
So
you healed nicely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So Saturn says they upload every other day. The type of channel is an anime channel. The goal of the channel is to give enjoyment to others and improve myself. And the question is, can you check what's wrong with my YouTube channel page? What things should I fix or change very much? We're not doing that during the stream, with the exception of if somebody mentions a location that D happens to not know where it is, then we'll be pulling up somebody based on that. But besides that, we don't look at we're not looking at channels during the stream.
Yeah, so this person caught my attention, and I have no idea what their channel's about, but I didn't specify, and this is why I think it's funny. I didn't specify exactly. So they listed their neighborhood in Pakistan, in Hyderabad, Pakistan, and it was an interesting name. So Nasim Nagar is the neighborhood that they live in, so I put them up. It's Pee Wee Penguin. I think they're a gaming channel. So here's what I'm thinking. We just open it up and just give them a first impression.
Okay.
We don't have to do a full
sure.
Just a first impression, just a basic looking at it.
Do you know where they're at? Do you want to pull them up? Because you can share right in the StreamYard.
Can I? Okay, I need to go back. I need to go backwards. Wait, keep going.
Yeah, answer your question. Okay.
I'll find them.
So Cool Tech Gaming in Reviews, or if you want to email me the link, then I can pull them up. I can pull them up that way.
I don't think I can share it.
Cool Tech Gaming in Reviews.
No, I can't share it.
Yeah, because I also, another problem here is I've also got a bunch of stuff all over my screen here.
Okay, I'll find it.
Okay. Cool Tech Gaming and Reviews says that they upload when they have time. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do tech and gaming content. The goal of the channel is to become popular and to influence the tech community. And the question is, why is my channel not getting views on videos that I put heaps of editing into? Really good question. So here's the thing. So on YouTube, it's important to remember that we are, and this is kind of the thing that I say for this, it's important to remember that we are not rewarded by the effort that we put into our videos. We're rewarded by the way that people respond to what it is that we make. Now, with that said, in a lot of cases, when you put more effort into your videos, it can cause people to respond better than if you didn't. But it's not a guarantee that you're going to get a response on your videos just because you put in a lot of effort. So, for example, the reason that this, is something to think about is let's say you're just getting started, right? Then in that particular case, you are still in the process of learning how to efficiently edit. You're probably still in the process of learning the ins and outs of your video software. You're probably still learning, how to get your workflow together as efficiently as possible in order to kind of, make content more efficiently. You are probably having to, you're probably adding a lot of stuff to your videos that you haven't yet learned to, take out from those videos yet, because, if you're just getting started because maybe you just haven't ran across the information yet about exactly what it is that they do and do not respond to and things like that. So because of that, all of those things, combined together, the effort that you put in might be different than the DBZ collector, right? They might be making content that gets a similar response or maybe even a better response, but they might not seemingly put in a lot of effort with the video itself, but they put in a lot of effort working on all of the things previously that makes it to where they don't end up spending as much time and energy on the videos now, right? So because of that, just remember that, the editing, the amount of time that you spend, like the editing, of course, can impact the video, so can the time that you spend, but everything is dictated on YouTube in terms of quality by how viewers respond to what it is that we're doing. So if you publish a piece of content, even if, right, and this is the crazy thing, about YouTube, but this is, how it works, is let's say that you just made a video of you just walking down the street talking about whatever it is that you do on your YouTube channel. Even if you're a gamer and you usually show gaming content, let's say that you make a video of you just walking down the street, the camera's a little bit shaky or whatever, and you're just doing it on your phone, you're walking down the street, and you are just making a selfie video talking about this game that's coming out and why you love that game, you're super excited that's going to be coming out, blah, blah, blah. You hope they enjoy it as much. Here's some things that you're looking for, some stuff that you've seen online that you think maybe isn't going to be that great about it, some stuff that you've seen that you think looks awesome, and then you just talk about it, and then you end your video. Well, even though that video took you zero effort outside of, holding up your arm and hitting the record button, if YouTube shows that to people, even if you just use the raw screenshot of you just being like this, if YouTube shows that video to people, even though the whole thing took you like 2 minutes to make, then if people respond positively to that content, then YouTube's going to keep showing it to more and more and more and more people if they keep responding positively to it. Whereas if you, spend all this time making that perfect video, adding the perfect video graphics and all that stuff, it can make everything like look awesome, right? But if the viewer experience isn't as good, or if the viewers don't engage as much as they did, and by engage, I also mean like watch the content, right? Watch it in its entirety. But if they don't engage, or if they don't engage as much with that as they do the selfie content, then in that particular case, even though you put tons of effort, hours and hours, or maybe even days into that video, if the viewer doesn't respond well, then in that case, it's not going to end up working out for that particular video. So because of that, just make sure that you don't directly connect like, okay, well, I'm going to spend like 4 hours on this, or I'm going to spend 4 days on this, which means that when I publish it, it's guaranteed to get views, because it's not. Another part of it is the video content that you spend all this time on, it might be amazing. However, your fail point in terms of the problem that you could be having is just not getting people to click on it. Like maybe the video is amazing, but maybe not enough people are clicking on it in order to have enough, information going to YouTube to let people know how great it is, right? So keep in mind that when you are publishing content to YouTube, it's not just one thing, right? If it's a short, then it pretty much is. But if it's, like a long form, piece of content, it's, there's a lot of moving parts there. Like you have to be able to capture people's attention when they log onto YouTube, or when they're, just kind of surfing around YouTube. And once they come into your content, you have to be able to give them, that great experience, which is the thing that you've been, spending the most time on. So one thing that I can tell you is when you are spending time on stuff, it does help you, get into the nitty gritty of it. And I believe that, as a new content creator, you should be spending that time, because that's how you're going to learn how to make a better thing. But when it comes to YouTube, if you're trying to, like grow your channel into like, a brand essentially, then in that particular case, like go through this part. And as you're going through this part, you're going to hit a point to where you're going to be like, you know what, when I do these things, people, typically will stick around for these. But all this extra stuff that I've been spending hours on, people aren't really responding to all that extra stuff. And it doesn't seem to matter if I do all that extra stuff or not. Yeah. And over time, you'll find that balance, right? It's just right now you're giving it your all because you're wanting, you're wanting everything to work out. So keep giving it your all, but make sure that you're not just looking at my video is not performing, even though I put all this effort into the video content, because it could be that the main problem, even though your content's awesome, the main problem could just be that the videos themselves just aren't getting clicked on.
So I looked up Pee-wee Penguin's channel.
Okay.
And we're not going to pull it up.
How come?
They've just got something in their channel art that's a little questionable.
Oh, okay.
But so I'll just say this: my advice to you, Pee-wee Penguin, is you do what you want in your YouTube channel.
Hey, Lauricia.
Your channel art could be found offensive, and that could keep some people away. And I think you definitely need to work on your thumbnails. So spend some time learning how to make better thumbnails for what you're doing.
All right, there we go.
You got a super chat?
Super chat.
Tube Spanner, thank you for the super chat. Danielle says, did you hear about that potato that looks like a sheep? It's an YouTuber.
Wah,
Wah,
wah.
wah. Oh, love
Where
it.
did she come up with this?
Love it. I'm not sure.
I have a feeling.
These days, you could probably use like, ChatGPT or something. Yeah.
I have a feeling she sits
But
around
she was
all
doing this
week.
way before ChatGPT.
Right,
So I'm
that-
guessing
yeah,
she's
yeah.
coming up with these. Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, the recent ones have come from ChatGTP.
So let's see here.
Hey,
So
Charlie.
next up, we've got Cool Gaming Tech and Reviews. They have a tech and gaming channel. And we did this one already. So next up, we're on number 10 already, cruising.
Wow.
So and Not So Happy Meal is the name of the channel.
I
Nice.
love that. A not so happy
Yeah.
meal. That's so clever.
They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They have gaming content. The goal of the channel is to build a community. And the question says, hey, Nick and D, I'm starting up a Fortnite channel. Was wondering if trying to target YouTube search is the best way to start to get traction on a gaming channel. Or can your first videos land on recommendations and home pages? So your first videos can and will absolutely get recommended to people. And then, of course, how people respond to those is going to make make or break that video. So a few things to think about here. And I love this question because there's a lot in it, actually. So when it comes to your content getting recommended, especially when you're uploading your first videos, make sure that you are including like Fortnite in your title. Make sure that you're including that like in the description. And when you're filling out your description, make sure you put a full description in there, not just like a sentence or a phrase. Make sure you put like, a full paragraph or two describing what's happening in the video. And the reason that you want to do this, especially, I mean, you always want to do it, but especially with a new channel, is because when you're first publishing like your very first videos on YouTube, YouTube's already going to get the context, right? Like YouTube's like, watching your videos, it's reading and captioning your videos so it knows what it is that you're saying in your videos. So it's going to get that context, but then the metadata also kind of helps support what's going on and adds a little bit of clarity to what's going on in the actual video content as well. So because of that, when you add, and you can actually find this information in the Google Help pages, and I think it's also available in youtube.com/creators as well in the free educational resources they have there. But the idea is that by including those things, it just adds just a little bit more clarity so that when they are recommending it to people, it just kind of helps make sure that, topically it's going in front of people that are interested in that topic, right? And then when it comes to YouTube search, so make sure that you're doing that, for the recommendations. But another thing is when it comes to YouTube search is a great place. Todd actually, there was an interview with him where he recommended content creators, actually start, with YouTube search. And the whole idea there was that, if you're just trying to learn how to do this stuff, when you have some videos that you're going after YouTube search with, then what happens there is the people that are finding your content are the perfect people because those people are looking for what it is that you have, which means that you're not going to have the wrong people clicking on it, at least from that particular surface. So because of that, it just kind of helps, kind of get the system trained up, so to speak, for lack of a better way to say it, on who your content is for. So because of that, since you're just getting started, I would definitely just make sure that you are really thinking about like, okay, I'm gonna optimize this for search because yes, I want that, but how can I write a really nice and compelling title that if somebody were to see it on YouTube's homepage or suggested next to another video, that they would also say, oh yeah, I want to check this out. I want to see what this is about, right? And also make sure, like as a new content creator, a huge mistake that a lot of new content creators make is they will just jam pack their thumbnails with all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, what you want to think about is, okay, I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible because it's really easy to overcomplicate everything, right? It's really easy to distract people from what's actually happening in this video by polluting my thumbnail with a bunch of stuff that isn't relevant. So because of that, try to keep your thumbnails simple and work yourself through this exercise. Think to yourself, okay, I'm making a Fortnite video. Since I'm making this Fortnite video, what can I put in the thumbnail of this video to help people quickly and easily, without having to burn any energy on it, identify that this video has something to do with Fortnite? Because the goal with that is all you're trying to do is stop them. Like if they're on their phone and they're scrolling, you want them to stop because they see something that they're interested in and then read the title to figure out what it's about, okay? So just make sure that you're thinking about that part of it when you're putting your thumbnails together for that.
Got some super
and
chats?
good luck on your new channel, by the way.
Tim Tech Media.
Tim Tech Media, thank you for the super chat. It says, I have health problems that affect my daily life. I want to cover tech, but also incorporate a health aspect. Should I consider a second medium or can I cover both? Thanks for your amazing content. So with that one, if you can build the health stuff into tech, I don't know. That's a tough one.
I would say it depends. Like if you can use tech to help you with your health problem in your daily
like if
life,
it's that kind of tech.
If it's that kind of tech and you're targeting the same audience, it makes sense. But if you're like, I like tech, but I also have some health problems.
Yeah, like I'm talking about TVs.
Right. And I have this chronic condition. Those are two totally different audiences.
Yeah, I have this chronic condition, and I want to share information about that chronic condition and help people with that.
Right.
That's where you'd want to put it on a different channel. So what you want to think about, just because you know the specifics of what you're going to be publishing, so think about it from the perspective of if somebody watched one of your tech videos, if you published a health video on the topics of health that you would like to talk about, would the people that watch the tech video be extremely likely to watch that video that you published that included the health content, right? Like that type of viewer. Or is the health content for a different type of person that's looking for something different compared to somebody that's coming in and wanting to see information on the latest TV or the latest computer or phone or whatever else it is that you cover. So think about it from the audience perspective and the likelihood of them actually being able to watch those two videos back to back. And it goes the other way too. So like, for example, let's say that you publish the video on the health and people came in and they enjoyed that. What's the likelihood of them, also really getting into the tech content based on their interest, not based on it just being a part of your YouTube channel, but based on it being about the things that they care about the most?
Yeah, that's the answer to almost everything.
It is.
When you're trying to figure out, like, you have this question about your channel. Should I do this? Should I do that? Think like a viewer.
Yeah.
What would the audience want to see?
Right.
What would the audience want to see? And the next piece of content that they watch, if they were served the other type of content that you're thinking about, would they watch it?
Right.
If the answer is nope, they wouldn't be interested, then that's your answer.
Yep. Totally.
All right, got another super chat?
Home Rapid Repair, thank you for the super chat, says, if I use the reply with shorts to answer a question, do I mark it as public? I don't want it on the short shelf. If you want it on the short shelf, then in that case, leave it unlisted. Yeah, if you don't want it showing up in the short shelf.
And we got another super chat.
And Pixie Dust Traveler, thank you for yours as well. Says, thank you for all your help. My question is, do you know if YouTube allows statues of the human body on YouTube, or do I need to blur out parts? So when it comes to nudity on YouTube,
that's a great question.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
So if Renee's still in here, hopefully you can add clarity if I miss anything here. But when it comes to YouTube, if you are uploading it for the purpose of art or for education, both of those scenarios, you should be in the clear. If you do run into any problems, then of course you'd be able to dispute it through those. But if you upload it for the purpose of art or for the purpose of education, then in that particular case, you can show, those types of things. But if you're uploading it, if you're talking about something completely different, and then you just have it in there and you're like, oh, hey, look at, this set of whatever, then in that case, hey man, it just came out of my brain. I didn't know what to say.
Look at this set of whatever.
So we won't highlight it, but like the the thing is, if you're doing it for education or for art, then you should be okay there.
Yeah. So my advice to you would be this: because if you're putting up nude statues, I would have.
Sorry, an Austin Powers scene just came into my head. Like at the end.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Look at the
Whoa.
Yeah.
Johnson. That's a Johnson. Yeah. Right. I the canary in the coal mine, I would put up a test video with the imagery that you're thinking about using and leave it up on the platform for about a week or something like that. Like if you're putting a big video together and you're putting that same imagery up there and you put it up and YouTube's automatic systems flag it because it can't tell the difference between a statue.
Yeah.
YouTube makes mistakes.
Sure.
And that could actually hurt the velocity of the original video.
So it's a travel video.
Yeah.
So with it being a travel video, I think is long. Like if it was mine, as long as I wasn't,
I would totally test that.
As long as I wasn't like, putting a really hard focus on the parts that you're worried about, then in that case, I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you're like, I'm going to make like a whole thing about this, and basically the whole video is going to be about this statue, and I'm going to be like zooming in on stuff and all of that. Right. In that case, it might, you might want to reconsider. But if it's just like, hey, I'm in this, I went to this thing, they have these, famous statues here, this is those statues, then in that case, I'm like,
so.
I think you'd be okay there.
Renee says, if you get flagged, appeal, but make sure you state your case in the appeal. It's educational, artistic, etc. One of the biggest mistakes creators make is not making appeals, actual appeals. Yeah, I mean, YouTube makes mistakes. Totally. A lot of their stuff is automated. It makes honest mistakes, and it has to get in front of a human. And unfortunately, sometimes it goes in front of a human, and they also make a bad call.
Yeah.
I don't know. If that were me, I would test that out. I would have some little test video and I put it out there.
Put it on like another channel
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. I create a second channel. I actually have a test channel just for that sort of thing.
It's the throw it under the bus channel.
Throw it under the
put it
bus.
up here, see if it gets hit.
Canary in the coal mine. Yep.
So Renee also mentioned on the short comment in terms of the reply with a short. He said they also go into the comment system, so it should be public. He said that he would leave it on the shelf and the feed as well. Just make the answer broadly appealing, so then that way can actually add value to even more people.
I'm not gonna unsee that scene from Austin Powers out of my head now.
Yeah, I know that's gonna be there for like the whole rest of the day. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Sharks Grabber, what's up?
So next up, we've got, see, we did the Happy Meal question. So now we're on number 11. So we've got Jimenez Video Productions. They do all types of content. The goal of the channel is to make subscribers happy and show them different things. And the question, how does monetization work? Can you get paid daily, or how does that work? So you get paid monthly. And you have to first you have to get into the YouTube Partner Program. Once you're in the YouTube Partner Program, then in that particular case, any revenue that is generated, you have to first hit a $100 threshold in order to get a payment of any kind. But then once you do hit that $100 threshold, then you can start getting monthly payments as long as you continue to hit that threshold or more every month.
And you have to purify yourself in the
waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get into the partner program these days.
So Pee-wee Penguin has a question in here, and they said highlights from Gaming with Friends is the type of channel. The goal of the channel is I want to build a community or an audience that enjoys my videos, and the question is, what are some key elements that I should use for a thumbnail that increases my click-through rate and draw in more attention and curiosity from not only my audience, but the people that the algorithm recommends me to? So the main thing that you should think about is identification. So, of course, there's all kinds of mysterious thumbnails on YouTube too. But when you are publishing your videos, especially when you're getting started, the easiest path and the one that, is it's easy to focus on okay, I'm going to just focus on this one thing as the primary part of my thumbnail so that I can get people to read my title. So it just helps people identify that it's something they care about, and then they can read the title, and then they can decide to click in from there versus trying to get people to specifically click just based on what it is that they're seeing with the thumbnail. So always remember that your thumbnail and title, they work together as a team to win the click. So because they work together as that team, make sure that you're using them both and that you're thinking of how they work together, right? So because of that, just focus all of your efforts. Like the exercise, like I mentioned earlier, the exercise that you want to run through is, if the people that I'm trying to reach, when YouTube recommends my content to them, for the people that I'm trying to reach, when they do show them my content on let's say a YouTube homepage or a mobile feed, what about this thumbnail is going to help the people that I'm trying to reach identify that this is about something that they might be interested in? Start there and then build around that.
Ball Junkie says, I'm actually tripping.
Falling down?
I don't.
Oh, I guess they were laughing. Yeah, possibly.
Oh, they saw two of us.
Oh, got it. So
I was about ready to say,
William,
that kind of stream.
Yeah, right.
William Gregory.
William Gregory Trice uploads when they have time. The type of channel is animated word poetry with music. The goal of the channel is published poetry promotion. And the question is, are there any genres that just never take off? After 5 years, we still struggle with views and comments. So the whole thing is you want to make sure that you're just thinking about is there any other channels that do something similar to what you do that are of any larger size on YouTube? If the answer is yes, then the problem isn't necessarily that that YouTube is preventing you from, growing in any way. The problem will default down into the content and what it is that you're doing there, right? So, so just think, or just look around, hop on YouTube and look, say, is there anybody that's doing this? And if so, are they doing okay? If they are, then in that case, then that's where it's okay, well, we need to work on our content in order to, get a better response from it.
So Ball Junkie says, I've been watching 2 different YouTube channels thinking they were the same person.
Oh, that's funny. That happens a lot. Yeah.
I get so many comments where people be like, thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Or,
I get them on mine too.
Do
yeah.
You? Mm-hmm. So this is funny. Hold on. So Tish, how you doing, Tish? She says,
hey, Army Men Films.
I never knew that Lake Minnetonka quote was from a Prince comedy skit from Dave Chappelle until y'all said it. It's from not. The movie.
It's from the movie Purple Rain.
It's from the movie Purple Rain.
Yeah,
and then
David Chappelle got it from there.
He did a skit on that. It's from the movie Purple Rain.
Yeah, you got to be old to get that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get that.
Why, are they an older person?
How am I supposed to?
I don't know. I'm just asking because you said I'm surprised you didn't get that.
I don't know how to.
Oh,
Tish.
okay.
How old are you,
Okay.
Tish? I don't know.
All right. I didn't know. So Army
I mean,
Men
she's
Films.
she's not my age. I know that, but she's not a teenager either.
Army Men Films is our next question.
25.
They upload when they have time. They have been making videos for less than a month. The type of channel is a Army Men stop motion channel. That sounds interesting.
She said, "Yes, I'm old."
The goal.
I don't know how old you are.
The goal of the channel says I wanted to share my work and hobbies, so I started my channel to share my stop motion videos. And the question is, will people not like your channel or your videos if you are younger or look and sound younger? Also, thank you for making these videos and live streams. They help a lot.
I'm glad you said this.
So
Can I just say something
what
about
just
that?
happened here? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Nick and I were just talking about this yesterday. You having tech problems over there?
Yeah, the slow mode was just turned on somehow.
Oh, weird. Okay, yeah. So
that
Nick and I were just
shouldn't be
talking
on.
about this yesterday. Both of us have learned how to do a lot of things, be it
there we go.
software, how to do various things online by watching videos where people, just faceless videos where it's obviously someone
we were just talking about this the other day.
significantly
Yeah.
younger, right? So they'll, and the way and this is no offense to someone that's younger in here, but the voice is different, and most younger people on YouTube have yet to learn how to speak with some confidence in their videos. So I've watched so many videos where you click on it and be like, okay, guys.
Yeah.
So today I'm gonna teach you how to. We're gonna use Vegas Pro, and I'm gonna show you. But they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing. So I just want to say, if
they're
you're
not
young,
at that point where they're putting in all the fluff
Right,
and they're
no,
like
it's
going on
amazing.
stuff.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey,
guys,
straight value. This
straight
is how
yeah,
you do the thing.
Right, I'm going to show you how to
totally.
do the thing.
Yeah.
And listen, if you're a younger person and you're doing this stuff on YouTube, I want to say keep going.
Yeah.
Because even old people like myself, we learn from you.
Yeah.
Keep going. Don't let anybody tell you that you're too young. Get on there and make stuff. I
Yeah.
learn from you all the time.
Yeah, and with that too, and I accidentally
guys.
closed the questions.
It's always like that too. Oh, hey guys.
Yeah, so on that one, I got this music making machine, and I couldn't find any good tutorials. Like every tutorial that I was watching, it was just like a bunch of just nonsense. No, it
looper?
wasn't the looper. It was the Native Instruments, the machine one. And on that one, every video that I watched from an adult was just like, hey, all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, that's great. Where's the thing? And then you get to it, and then they have like a whole other thing. And I'm just like, oh, come on. So I start watching other videos, and then I find this one. It's this girl, and gets right into it. Okay, if you have a machine, you're probably having trouble finding videos that help you set it up. And I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And then she's like, so I'm going to show you here in just a few minutes how to set it up. I'm like, sweet, this isn't even going to take long.
Right.
And she's like, the first thing you want to do is, and I'm like, oh my God, she's doing it.
Yeah,
She's doing it.
She's doing the thing.
And then I just followed step by step, and I got it all set up to work with my my music software, and it was fantastic. So yeah, if you're a young person, do not let that shatter your confidence in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You still have value to add to young people, to older people. Even if you are a young person and you're doing like entertainment content that might not necessarily be something that an older person would watch, people your age are still going to watch it, right? So like I have friends here. Actually, one of them, he came on the stream, I think it's 3 Saturdays ago, Jesse. And when Jesse was on the stream, he initially got his start by his kids' channels where he was making like family vlogs, around his kids. And, a majority of their audience was also kids of their age. So when they would go out, to malls and things like that, it was always, kids of their age that were running up to him and, trying to get pictures and stuff like that. So it's like, make content for your, for your age, for people of your age.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know if it's just instinctual, but I notice. So I've made the transition to. I mean, I've still got a PC here for streaming, but I'm 90% through the transfer of jumping from being a PC user for 20 plus years over to doing everything on a Mac, and because of that, I've had to watch so many tutorials recently on how to do everything, even simple things like figuring out how to use like the notepad correctly. And I come across so many young people making videos, and in my opinion, even though they're smaller channels, because I'm searching for it too, right? I'm searching for how to do this thing, and I generally don't click on the larger polished YouTubers for this sort of thing because it's just most of them just take too long to get into the thing, and there's sponsorship stuff and there's all these things, and it's not that I don't want to support them, it's just that I don't have a lot of time to get through the 15 things about Mac that you need to do.
Yeah.
Just here's this 12-year-old kid who's just going to teach me the one thing that I'm interested in, and there's no fluff. And it's just
and
like,
hey, adults, listen to this. You know,
yeah, yeah. And it's just like I click on it. It's like, okay, so
Right.
this first thing you want to do is this, and it's like, man, you got me.
Right.
And I watch them, and then I go to their channel, and then they're doing stuff unrelated to that, and you lose me.
Totally.
But I think a lot of younger people are instinctually just cutting out the fluff.
Yeah.
At least for the people that I'm finding.
Yeah. Behind the videos is our next question here. They tell stories of YouTubers. The goal of the channel is to tell motivating and interesting stories of YouTubers and what YouTubers are doing. The question is, how do I make a viewer satisfied for my video? My videos are usually talking about YouTube stories like the surprising rise of Eric. So when you are going for just satisfaction for your videos, you need to look at your audience retention reports and just look at the feedback that you're getting from your videos. That's how you start crafting that over time. So if you notice when people are coming into your videos, they're leaving real quick, then that means they're not satisfied. So therefore they're getting out of there because they're not getting what they expected when they clicked on that content. Now the same thing applies, just so you know, when it comes to your thumbnails and titles too. So, you know, part of creating a satisfactory experience on YouTube is matching the expectation on the inside that is created from the outside. So for example, you know, if somebody's clicking on something, they're expecting something, you know, on that back end, you know, that's why they're clicking on it. So if, I mean, in shorts, it's different, but like when it comes to somebody, you know, clicking on like a thumbnail and a title on YouTube, they're expecting something on the other end of that based on what they were presented with, right? Based on what you said in the title or showed in the title, and based on what you say in the thumbnail, and based on what you say in the title. So what happens is if you can align the outside perfectly with what's happening on the inside, and then you match their expectation, then they're likely to stick around longer, especially if you don't add a bunch of stuff that causes them to leave, you know, a bunch of self-centered stuff that causes them to leave. Because, you know, one thing that content creators also like to do is they like to front load their videos with all kinds of things that are beneficial to them. And when they're doing that, they're not thinking about the viewer, right? So, so because of that, just make sure that you are, you know, focusing on the viewer experience and that you're using the feedback that you get in your YouTube analytics that shows you how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, and then build on from there. Other things in terms of satisfaction, if you notice like, hey, these videos that I'm putting out, you know, people are liking these videos a lot more compared to some of these other videos I'm putting out. I wonder why. And then start coming up with theories, and then start testing those theories against additional content. Same exact thing. If you're like, man, this comment section just lit up underneath this video. Why do I think that is? And then go in, start making theories, start testing those theories that you come up with, and you'll find that path that, you know, that people, you know, will respond to and have that satisfactory experience with most of the content you upload.
So I have some people asking me why I'm changing to Mac, and that's actually a great question. So I used Mac originally, like, I don't know, 25 plus years ago, 30 years ago or whatever. I started on Mac, and then
back when Mac was Apple.
Back when, when it was Apple, and I was on video editing back then, and that was like the original Final Cut. So however long the original Final Cut was, I was using Apple before that even. So when I was on video editing, it was just an early version. It was always crashing. And so I ended up switching to PC. And then I've been on PC forever until I got Logic Pro. And then we started doing all the creator mix music and stuff like that. And just through using the Mac daily for music production, I just really kind of fell in love with it. And I just love now how seamless everything is between, like, because I use an iPad as well. So I have like multiple iPhones. I've got my iPad. I've got my Mac, and everything is just super, on the watch. Everything is just seamless. Just sending stuff back and forth. And I was like, you know what? it will be so much easier if I can just move onto one system. And the video editing software that I was using on PC, which is Vegas, it just turned into a hot pile of garbage. Yeah. And so I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to push through the pain and just, instead of traveling with two computers, right? I'm just going to travel with one. But it's a little painful, not going to lie. It's awkward.
Yeah, another thing too is like these, they start up fast. Being able to quickly share things like, you know, all around without having to like AirDrop. Install anything extra or anything like that. It's just like everything just like works seamlessly. It's great.
I love
the
PC.
cloud where things are like syncing up all over the place.
Yeah, totally. I love PC and I love building. I love like all of my older workhorses were all built. I built all the PCs, all the video machines. So I love PC. It's just time to think different. Ching.
Ching. Yeah. Nice. See what you did there.
Apple, call me. Mac.
Comedian Miss Anita says, do you have any suggestions for comedy channels? Absolutely. Check out Ryan George. In addition to that, Dee and I were talking about Key and Peele earlier today,
Oh
so
my
I
God,
figured
I
I'd
love
throw
those
that
guys.
one in there too.
Love those guys.
But yeah, check those out if you're looking for comedy inspiration.
I think my favorite skit is the school teacher that's pronouncing all the names incorrectly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
Come on, where it's like Aaron, and he's like, hey, Aaron.
Oh, no.
You haven't seen that
one?
Oh
No.
my, that's one of their best things.
Yeah, I should actually binge some of those tonight.
He's reading off the kids' names, and it's like, Aaron. And he's like, hey, Aaron. You haven't seen that one? No. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it sounds great. Like I can envision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. The Creature Junkie, what's going on? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Welcome to the stream. The Blue Lounge is our next question. They do daily content, but on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is Chelsea fan channel, football team fan club fan channel, I guess. And the goal of the channel is to help give a voice to the fans. Question: I've been uploading content for a few years now, and I found the algorithm changing a lot over the years. It feels very random these days to what content is recommended on YouTube. Can you please explain how the recommendation part of the algorithm is working? Thank you for your help. I've learned a great deal from watching you guys. So when it comes to YouTube's system, the whole idea is they're trying to put the right content in front of the right people at the right time to have them have a good experience on the platform so that they'll keep coming back to the platform. So that's, at the end of the day, that's what they're trying to accomplish. So in terms of how the system works, the system is basically trying to identify, like when let's say you log on to YouTube. When you log on to YouTube, you open it up on your phone, you open it up on your computer. In that moment, their system is saying, okay, what's recently been published that this person is, might enjoy? What old content based around, other content that this person's watching, content that this person's searching for, that sort of thing. What other content do we have, in the inventory that other people like this person, like you, are also enjoying right now, and let's present some of that stuff to them, some of that content to them. And then from there, based on how people respond to the content, then, that's basically where videos go to, thrive or die. So the whole thing there is the goal is and always has been, as soon as they switch to watch time as the priority, right? Back in October of 2012, the goal is and always has been viewer experience, right? Like even back, when people were like clickbaiting and the only thing that mattered was, getting people to click. At that time, the experience is more on like getting people to click, but then they changed it to watch time back in 2012. And when they changed it to that, then they use watch time as one of the, key metrics to translate how are people really enjoying this content. Because if you watch something for a long period of time, that's a good indicator. It may not be perfect, but it's a good indicator that, they're enjoying that content. If they come in and they watch the video for, 15 seconds and they leave, good indicator that they weren't getting what they expected there. So because of that, as a content creator, if you focus on that viewer experience and creating, good content for people and making it easy for them to get through, then in that particular case, your videos are probably going to do okay. But if you're adding in a bunch of stuff that doesn't add value to the viewers, you are adding fluff in there because you're just trying to get over, videos over a certain length and, things like that, then that's where you can start, running into problems. But at the end of the day, the thing that you're focused on is just creating a good experience for the people that are going to be interacting with your content. And when you do that, then everything works out. Everything will end up working out for you.
Yeah, Mac was Macintosh.
Yeah,
That's what
Macintosh,
it was.
Apple, yeah.
It's been a long time.
I thought the first one was like an Apple IIe or something like that, wasn't it?
But it was Macintosh.
Oh, okay.
It's been a long time.
I'm not a Mac historian, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Renee Ritchie can tell us. He's literally a Mac historian.
A Mac historian, like literally. Yeah,
literally. He's a Mac
true.
historian. Yeah. So Renee,
it's on
let us
you.
know, Renee.
Yeah. So next up, Blue Lounge. My pleasure. Next up, we have the project a question. Oh, another thing, Blue Lounge, is of course, because of the new, updates, in terms of like, YouTube on shorts and, things like that. There's all that whole side of things going on as well. And, like one thing to think about there, just to kind of keep going on your question. One thing to think about there is like, it still applies there in terms of that viewer experience. Like, are people, enjoying the content? And then of course, another thing that I didn't mention when it comes to there's the viewer experience, but then there's also making content that's accessible for as many people as possible. So of course, it's usually best practice to, niche down, but within your niche, try to talk about topics that are of, that will reach or be of interest to as many people within that niche as possible. That can also, make a big difference in terms of, the response that you're getting on your channel overall. Project Equestrian, hope you're doing great, says they do equestrian content. The goal is to make money doing something I love. And the question is, I've had a company reach out to send me a free pair of work boots, which are actually quite useful. This is the first time a company has sent me anything. Any tips on how I should be responding to this? So first, you know what goes into you making a video. So I'm not sure, if it takes you a while to make videos. I don't know if, you would have made another video in the place of that, sponsored video or whatever. But, if the work boots themselves are of value to you because you're like, yeah, they're nice boots and they're actually quite useful, then in that case, the boots might be enough. Everybody's different about this sort of thing. Some people are like, I'm not making anything unless they give me some money. Other people are like, I'm not making anything unless this thing that they're sending me is of a certain, dollar value. Other people are like, I don't care if it's something I'll use and they send it to me, I'll make a video about it. Right. So it just comes down to like your personal thing there. But the thing that I recommend that you do is just consider, that, if you're going to make like a dedicated video for them or something like that, or even mention them, keep in mind that, in order for people to pay to have content made for them and to pay, influencers to work with them, all of that stuff, it's costly. And in a lot of cases, it's way cheaper to just send out free products to content creators. And a lot of companies will take advantage of that, which in some cases, depending on your perspective on this, which again, is different for everybody. Some people can also see this as these companies are also using this as a way to take advantage of content creators, because then instead of paying to make the content or paying someone else to make the content, instead, they just send you a pair of boots and you're like, hey, this is great. Let me make some videos about it. Right. Or let me mention them in my videos. So, it just comes down to like your personal stance on that. But some things in terms of how you should be responding to this, the very first thing I recommend is if you are putting out content on a consistent basis, you're getting a decent amount of, average views to where you think you would be able to, send them, some traffic, or you'd be able to spread a lot of awareness about what it is that they have. Then in that particular case, I would try, since the door's already open and they already, know who you are and they're sending you stuff, make your first video, have that video, make it as good as you can. Make sure that you, mention their stuff if that was part of your agreement. Make sure that you disclose that, make sure that you click on, YouTube's checkbox for the disclosure, mention in your video that they gave it to you. But the thing that I recommend is, since you already have that door open, if you're comfortable doing this, try to hop on a phone call with them and try to work out like a longer term arrangement to where it's like, hey, you sent me your boots, but I would love to, feature you in my content on a regular basis. And in order to do that, for this, I charge, whatever it is that you feel comfortable charging based on what you think that you'd be able to deliver to them. I charge, X amount, and I would love to, make a video about your company, for once a month for the next 6 months. Is that something that you would be interested in doing? And in some cases, they'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. In other cases, they'll be like, oh, sorry, we're not interested in that. We just have this extra product that we send out to influencers, and that's kind of our way of doing it, and that's cool, if that's all they want to do. But just taking that initiative to try to turn it into something that's a longer commitment on their side can definitely be advantageous to you and to them and to your viewers. Because when you are just highlighting, and this is one of the things that I always try to remind people of when I'm in that negotiation process, is when they send you a product or, you have some type of sponsor deal. If you make one piece of content, there's going to be just a sub-segment of your audience that's going to see that. But if you have a contract with them over the next 6 months or the next year, your viewers are going to be continually exposed to that product. Now, this does a handful of different things. The very first is one that keeps things consistent for you to where you have that monthly income coming in from that, relationship. 2, it keeps that continued exposure going out about the brand, which, helps them out. 3, it also is something to where if you truly believe in the product, you are also giving yourself multiple opportunities over the course of those next 6 months to spread awareness about that product, with the people that are interacting with it or that are interacting with your videos. And then you are also showing to your viewers that not only am I, using this in my videos for this one video, but I am continually over a period of time supporting this particular product, which essentially means that you stand behind the product. So, anybody can make one video, but when you're like, yeah, I really like these boots or this company that makes these boots, and I wear them. I wear them, you know, even before we did the sponsor deal, whatever. Or if you didn't, then in that case, you wear them and you're like, wow, these are great. If you think they're great, then in that case, just make them a part of what it is that you do in your videos. Always be wearing them in your videos. Just take a quick moment to mention them without being too interruptive with it, and just put links in your video descriptions to where people can go and get those boots, or reach out to where they can go and buy something from that company. But I would definitely hop on a call with them and see if you can work out some type of longer agreement, because again, that adds value all the way around to everybody, as long as they have good products and as long as you truly stand behind what it is that they offer.
Yeah, and if somebody sends you something, don't feel obligated to make a video about it, unless you want to make a video about it.
Right.
Because there's like this weird guilt thing that happens. Like, oh, they sent me this thing. I almost feel like I need to talk about it.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
You don't need to talk about it. You don't
unless you had unless you had an agreement in place already.
Even then, if they send it to you and it's not what you thought it was going to be, and it's not quality, and you don't think it's good for your community, even if they send it to you and you said you make a video about it, say, you know what, you send it to me.
Yeah, send it back.
Send it back.
Yeah, if you're like, I got this in my hand, and these boots actually are not that great, then send it back. Yeah. Yep. So really quick, legal-minded friends, Karen says, what does the FTC stand for? That stands for Federal Trade Commission. And the thing with the FTC is right now, they actually just updated some guidelines and things like that for content creators. I haven't had a chance to really dig into it yet this week, but the quick skimming that I did, and don't take this as gospel because like I said, this is, I just had a little bit of time to skim over it. But basically what, they're making our disclosures,
making our life more difficult.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, making things more difficult for us under the guise of, consumer protection. But really it is. So basically, the whole thing with disclosures is you have to disclose when you have affiliate relationships, sponsor relationships, things like that. And the reason for that is because it lets people know that you might be biased in some way and that the message that you're sharing might be skewed in some way because you are benefiting from it personally, right? So for example, if I'm like, hey, this iPhone is fantastic and it's sponsored, I may or may not really think that this iPhone is fantastic, but I might be telling you that it is because it's sponsored, right?
Because you're a shill.
Because I'm a shill for Apple. So because of that, the whole thing with the FTC is they're trying to protect people from that. So that's why you have to have those disclosures so that you tell people, hey, this is sponsored by, or, this brand sent me this. And by doing that, you're basically letting people know that the message that you're sharing could be biased in some way. But some of the stuff that they're working on through this new information, again, this is from my quick glancing at it, so I'll update you on this later. But basically, the initial things that I saw is that, for TikTok was one of the examples they gave. For there, just saying that a company sent you something is no longer going to be enough. You have to actually, and using a hashtag ad is no longer going to be enough. You're going to have to actually burn ad into the video itself. So you're going to actually have overlay text that says ad that you put on your video, which is interesting.
That's so stupid.
In addition to that, they also, what was the other one that I was going to say? There was another one that really stood out too.
Are they making TV shows do that in the U.S.?
No,
like a talk show?
No, I don't think so.
Right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
Right?
But I think the other one is where, in the videos, even on YouTube, for example, we're not going to be able to just say oh, hey, Apple sent me this phone, and these are my thoughts about it or anything like that. You have to, explain things in more detail so it's crystal clear without question that your opinion might be biased on what it is that you're sharing. So basically, through the changes, they're just making it a lot more transparent, I should say, for content creators when they do have those agreements. Oh, this is what stood out. Okay. So everybody here that's watching this, if you watch my content at any point in time, of course, that I'm sponsored by TubeBuddy, and StreamYard is two of the other, I have other sponsors too, but those are the main sponsors of this stream. So one of the things there is because I'm sponsored by them and I have a relationship with them, technically, if I end up making another video that's not sponsored, but I happen to mention them, then I still am supposed to make that disclosure as well, that I have that relationship with them, even though that content isn't sponsored.
That's ridiculous.
Layer it up. So we have a link to streamer templates in the description.
Okay.
So since you're my brother, I'm going to have to disclose that that link is there because you're my brother, which is stupid. because like that
know
link,
what?
it's a raw link. I'm not even making money from it.
As of
but I'm
today,
still
you
going to
are
have to do that.
As of today, you are a 0.5% owner of that website.
Okay, perfect. There we go. Yep, deal. Sweet. There we go. Got it on video.
Come at me, FTC.
Yep, there we go.
I can do this all day.
Yep.
I can do this all day.
Come at him on his channel, please.
Yeah,
not here.
I can do this all day. All day long, I can do this.
So D's coming in with fast solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, like give every content creator like
Yeah.
a 0.00001% ownership.
Equity is about to become the thing, right? When you're negotiating those sponsorship deals, equity, that's where it's at. Real quick, so Renee.
Oh, and here's another one. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, D.
No, keep staying on topic.
Oh, just really quick. Yeah, Renee also mentioned that if you review Apple and Samsung has ever sponsored you, sounds like you're going to have to disclose that you had a competitive sponsor in the past. And
Oh, that's stupid.
there's also something called like what's it called? Anti-influence or anti-sponsor or something like that. But basically the whole idea is to where I'm sponsored by this, so I talk bad about this. So even if you are like, if you're sponsored by one company, if you talk bad about their competitors, even if it's not related to any of the content you made it for them, because you have that relationship, you also have to disclose that you work with their competitor and that your opinion could be biased. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So
that
freedom isn't free, people. Remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Freedom isn't free.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think we should take to the streets.
Yeah.
Creator Club.
All right, Creator Club. Yeah, here it goes.
We just went full circle on the Creator Club all over the
but
world.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, we're not going to
talk. We can't talk about it.
We can't talk about
Creator
it.
Club.
But I'll see you tomorrow, sir.
So you're still not sleeping for the next 2 months.
Yes.
Then I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there it is.
So Renee, we're back to the Apple real quick because or back to the Mac because this is important. Renee's talking about the new chips that Apple has, and he's talking about how it's like having two computers in one, right? This is true. So on I actually have two Macs now. I've got a Mac Mini and I've got a MacBook Pro. Both of them are on the M1 chip. I was editing on the M1 chip on my MacBook Pro, and I was editing and rendering. Photoshop was open, Logic was open, Discord was open, Chrome was open, Safari was open. Like all this stuff was open, and it wasn't even like I could have probably opened up another video editor and like edited video while the other one was rendering.
Nice.
I mean, it wasn't even like
this is on the M1.
Yeah. It was nothing. It was nothing for it at all. Like,
Yeah, this has the M1 in it.
Yeah,
And it just burns through everything.
yeah. It was like nothing else was open.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is like my PC, my most powerful PC would not do that
Yeah.
with that many things open.
Yep.
Just wouldn't do it. Super chat.
Derek Weber, thank you for the super chat. Says, on the subject of receiving products from brands, should we have PO boxes set up for safety and security? If you want that extra layer, yes. Some people are kind of irresponsible about that, and they are, or I'm not going to say irresponsible. They just don't, find it important to, protect their safety. But some people will just put like raw descriptions or raw like address links and not links, but just raw addresses in their descriptions. Like, hey, if you want to send me something, send it here. I recommend absolutely creating that layer between you and, the general public. Anybody that, you're having, like closer relationships with, then of course, that changes there. But like just the general, public, I would definitely try to create some type of layer of, safety or security there by using a PO box or, something like that in order to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Pick like an old lady down the street or an old man down the street. Build a relationship with them, mow their yard, and have your stuff sent there.
Yeah.
So when you go to see them, like, we got all these packages for you.
Yeah.
Totally protected.
The only
All day.
downside.
I can do it all day.
All day, yeah. All day delivery companies, all day.
All day. Come at me, UPS,
The-
FedEx, all day.
The
Stalkers all day long.
The downside of PO boxes is I believe it's FedEx that doesn't send to PO boxes if they're still doing that. Yeah. So I would just double check and make sure that that FedEx will send to there because a lot of companies do use
That's crazy.
FedEx.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a really weird rule.
Mm-hmm. It's probably just security
It's probably
or
owned by
whatever.
stalkers. That's what it is.
It probably is.
Yeah,
They're
FedEx
like, you know
or
what? Add this person to our database.
Yeah. Confirmed right here. You heard it first. FedEx is the feds It's right in front of us.
FedEx.
FedEx.
Oh no, he's going tinfoil hat on us.
Yeah. FedEx is the feds. It's the database.
Now let's
They're
start
gonna put your
making
name in a database, and it's gonna get all your names is gonna connect who your friends are with.
Yep, the frogs are delivering packages now.
You got
the frogs are delivering packages.
You got the frogs delivering. The frogs are driving the trucks. They're driving around and getting your names in the database. It's all right here in the phones, folks. It's all right here. I got it all right here confirmed.
My sources told me that.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Frogs are driving the trucks now.
Oh, goodness. All right. So what were we talking about?
It doesn't even matter what we're talking about after that. We're on a list now.
Oh,
we're on a list.
great.
We're on the FedEx list.
Yep, the FedEx list.
The FedEx list.
Yeah, we're the X's.
Right.
Okay.
It's been right in front of us the whole time.
Yep. So now, so
Hello?
now you get to make up a bunch of numbers and how they relate to FedEx.
That's right.
Right. Well, if you take three, Fed is 3 letters, right? You start making up some stuff there in order to make it make sense. Yeah, it's great.
When the stream is over, we're going to the conspiracy subreddit. I'll see you over there. We're going to start a whole new thing
About FedEx. That's funny. Okay. So just joking about all that FedEx stuff, by the way, except for the frogs driving trucks.
Not.
Yeah, the frogs definitely driving trucks.
All confirmed right here, folks. Got it right here.
So
got it all right here.
Oh, goodness.
Got the bisphenol A, all in the frogs, driving the trucks.
Free labor.
It's official. They're going to put you in camps.
Free labor law advice. And with Income, I believe is how you say that. They upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. The type of channel is education. They do labor law content. And the goal of the channel is to increase labor absorption rate. A lot of people are unfairly dismissed in SA, and this increases the unemployment rate. Therefore, I'm creating awareness of employment law rights. The question is, does a content creator have to wait until he has fancy equipment or mobile phone to record videos, or can you use what you have as long as you upload? Use what you have. So use what you have, but if the type of content you have requires creativity, then in that case, just try to get as creative as you can with what it is that you have right now. So especially with YouTube Shorts, if we've learned anything from vertical content just in general, YouTube Shorts, there's tons of people just hitting the record button, talking into the camera, and they're growing huge followings, just from that on TikTok and YouTube and all the other vertical places. So by all means, get started. And the reason you don't want to wait until you get, all the equipment is because there's additional things that you have to just get sorted, as part of being a content creator. You got to learn how to make thumbnails. You got to learn how to make, good videos. You got to learn how to edit those videos. You got to learn how to, present whatever it is that you have. Either you're using your voice, or you have to learn how to build AI content if that's what you're doing. You have to learn how to put everything, together and to do the information. You have to learn how to optimize your content, all that. So because of that, when you just get started with what you have, then you just get in motion, right? You get in motion, you start making stuff, getting it up there, and most importantly, out of all of that, you also start getting feedback. So when you start getting feedback, then that can also, let you know, hey, I'm on the right path. I don't ever need to upgrade stuff if I don't want to. Yeah. I have a friend of mine here in Thailand. He doesn't target, Chris. He doesn't target Thai people. He targets, Westerners or foreigners, English speakers. But basically, he grew his YouTube channel to over 100,000 subscribers in 10 months, just using his iPhone with no additional microphone attached to it. Yep, just running around Thailand, talking to the camera. 100,000 subscribers in 10 months. I've got a video on my channel, where he shares the details of that. So by all means, do not let the equipment, hold you back.
What you have to say and how you say it is significantly more important than the gear you use to say it with.
Correct. That's good. That's really good.
All day.
That's good. All day.
Yeah.
Bring it, microphone companies.
Let's go.
Bring it.
Let's go.
So next up on our list here, give me 1 second. Let me find the question. So we got Eagle for Life is the name of the channel. They do Pokemon openings. And the goal of the channel says, have some fun while doing something that I love. And the question is, should I ever use music in a video? Totally your call. So when it comes to music, that's more of a choice. So if you're putting together documentaries, things like that, then of course, music, has definitely has a place there. But, you are the one that decides okay, with what it is that I'm doing, would music support, what it is that I'm doing? So one thing that music can do is like, let's say you're opening up a card and you're not going to be talking. Then you can say like, okay, here we go. Let's open this up. And then you have some like epic build up music playing while you're like, you know, getting everything open. And then you're doing those like first reveals or whatever. And then it just kind of, you know, the music stops and then you start talking again with your excitement, like, oh, you know, we got this and blah, blah. Yeah. So you can use music in that way. So you can use it in creative ways to kind of enhance what it is that you're doing, but it's not a requirement, you know, by any means.
When it comes to using music, some other things to keep in mind is you could use music that your audience is not interested in. So that's going to be something that you're going to have to test. And you also want to make sure you don't make your music too loud. I've come across a lot of videos where the music is just too loud. I'm just like, I can't even hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you've got to learn how to get that blend in just right. And, you know, put something up and then see how your audience responds to it. You're going to find out fairly quickly what they like and what they don't like.
Totally.
Yeah. Like you might just be putting the wrong type of music out for your audience. Look at your demographics and test music that, you know, that might fit them.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Mm-hmm. Save that. Okay. So next question that we have is from, we're on number 20 already, D. We're cruising through these today. So next up, we've got Poop Scoop for Noobs. What's going on, man? It's been a while. Says, let's see here. They upload when they have time. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They have a scooper business. For those of you that aren't familiar with what that is, basically they go into people's yards and they pick up the stuff that the dogs leave behind, and they do that as a service.
Sounds like something the feds would do.
Oh boy, frogs would probably do it too. So the goal of the channel is to inspire others to start their own business. And the question is, when it comes to live streams, should they be added in playlists with your other live streams to trigger a watch time trap and data relationships, or should live streams be put in a playlist of similar topics and title structure?
Great question, man.
Topics.
We've had great questions.
We have. Yeah, these are more unique today. It's great.
Yeah.
So topics are important. So what you want to think about when you're putting a playlist together is it's not necessarily about like, you know, how I'm structuring my titles or anything like that. It's about, does it make sense for somebody that watches video A to watch video B? And if they watch video B, does it make sense for them to watch video C and so on based on what it is that you have in that playlist? So it's less about, you know, like, you know, titles and, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, I kind of see what you're suggesting there in terms of like the relationship thing. But when it comes to playlist, you want to think about the viewer, right? So if I'm driving people into this playlist from a video and in the end screens of all my videos, and let's say my pinned comments of all my videos, then in that particular case, I want to make sure that that the originating video at the very top of that playlist, I want to not the original video, but the video at the top of that playlist, I need to make sure it's a good fit for all of the videos I'm going to be sending into that particular playlist. And then from there, I need to make sure that it makes sense for somebody to be interested in the other videos in that playlist based on the videos that they've watched before them. So that's the only qualifier there when it comes to putting content into a playlist. It's just thinking about that viewer experience and the content that they might watch next. Next, we've got Last Two Potatoes. Okay, like that channel name.
Love it.
They do gaming content. The goal of the channel says we want to make funny gaming videos, but also allow our community to be in the videos. And the question is, would it be better for us to add keywords that have a lower search better than going for higher volume? We have over 1,400 subscribers, but are not getting a great view to subscriber ratio. Just don't know what can be better for a very small creator. So you're already at 1,400 subscribers, which means that you've gotten a decent amount of views on your content so far. So one thing that I would recommend to you is like, yes, you know, consider YouTube search if, you know, search is how people typically, you know, find your content, but also keep in mind that, you know, when it comes to you getting, you know, like deciding like, okay, should I go for like lower, you know, competition, high volume, you know, search keywords? That's just general best practice when it comes to, you know, search targeting. Of course, when you have, you know, more, like when you're really good at making content and you know that you can have a good chance at, you know, showing up somewhere because you know that the video that you are making, or at least you think that the video that you're making can compete with the other videos that are in the search results, you can still go after, you know, high competition, you know, keywords and keyword phrases too. But at the end of the day, just make sure you're not only thinking about YouTube search because, you know, search is great. It's consistent. It's easy to get views from search because you're only competing for people, you know, for those terms, the people that are actually seeing your thumbnails and titles there. They're actually looking for your type of content. Like there's tons of advantages, but where you really start winning is like, yes, absolutely, search traffic's great. But if you want like fast wins on YouTube, you also have to make sure that you're considering YouTube recommendations, which is basically, you know, home pages, subscription feed. It's also, you know, suggested videos, you know, those sorts of things. And the reason you want to think about that is because just a easy way to explain this. If you made a video today and the only place that it was getting traffic was YouTube search, in order to wake up and that video have, let's say, 10,000 views on it, then in that particular case, you would have to have a lot of people searching for that particular thing within the last 24 hours. So it's going to be less likely that, unless you're going for something that is just extremely popular or trending or something like that, that you're going to get all of that traffic, you know, very fast from YouTube search. Whereas when it comes to the recommendation system, if you can figure out how to get your audience to identify that your content's something that they care about and then click on it and come in and enjoy your videos, and that happens consistently when YouTube is showing your content to, you know, the audience that you're trying to reach, if you can make that happen, then you can go to sleep and you can wake up with, you know, 10,000, 20,000 views if people are responding well to your content. So, you know, the difference is speed and just overall quick reach when it comes to YouTube happens in the recommendation system compared to YouTube search. But YouTube search is fantastic when you're getting started, when you're first trying to get legs, when you're trying to, you know, make sure that the right people are watching your videos and things like that. YouTube search is great for that. In addition to that, like, it's just a super stable traffic source. So like if you have a decent amount of videos that are ranking well in search, then it can keep your channel relatively, you know, consistent. Whereas if you look in your analytics, you're going to see, you know, your recommendation features or your recommendation traffic is kind of all over the place. So Japan Geek, thank you for the super chat. It says, my videos receive rapid views, but drops very quickly. Before my views remain consistent, 1 week until the next video. Any advice? So basically what's happening is people are not responding to your videos the way that they used to, or the other content that you're competing with is beating you out in terms of how people are responding to those videos. And when you're thinking of other content that you're competing with, a lot of content creators, just a, you know, quick nugget for everybody, a lot of content creators think that they're only competing with other people in their niche, but they're actually competing with other videos that YouTube thinks, that the system thinks that they're that the people you're trying to reach are also likely to be interested in.
All of the interests
Everything.
of the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
So so because of that, you know, sometimes, like, you know, you can have a period of time where you're just crushing it and all the videos that you're putting out are actually beating everybody out. And then you can also have other periods of time where, you know, everybody else is just doing great because, you know, based on whatever's going on with, you know, your audience and all that, the other content that they're seeing is just, you know, they're just more interested in that at that period of time or whatever. So because of that, you know, some things that you could be dealing with is just more competition and all of the different things that your audience is interested in terms of more content creators there and things like that. If you're talking about this happening in shorts, then it's absolutely that. In fact, I showed Dee this screenshot from a video that was presented to me today, and I actually have had a bunch of these presented to me recently. But this is what, for, you know, everybody that's going after YouTube Shorts, this is what you're going to be competing with. So keep in mind, I watched part of this video, and the stuff that he was creating was really like low quality content in terms of like how it was all put together, but I'm not sure how people are responding to it. But I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but basically this thumbnail here, yeah, you can show it. You just tap on the screen real quick so it doesn't go to sleep.
If I were running any kind of a live stream, I would have had this set up so we can just like show this.
Yeah.
The old school way you could do that.
Yeah, but basically the idea in that thumbnail is the guy is saying how he's showing how he made 500 shorts in like 8 minutes. So I've seen plenty of videos like this where people are like, yeah, 300 shorts in like, you know, 2 minutes or 300 shorts in 20 minutes, whatever the thing is. But basically, you know, keep in mind that
you lose.
Yeah.
Like when you've got people doing this, like unless you're putting some really good shorts out,
yes,
you're struggling.
Yeah, and, you know, there's also the, like, what niche is it in, and you're like, what audiences is it going for and all of that, but without question.
508 minutes, he's probably covering multiple niches.
Right, exactly.
Right, he's figured out an automated system.
And that's the trick.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes to...
And that's who's ruining YouTube Shorts.
So
people like that. Let's call him out.
Yeah, so when it comes to
you guy.
So when it comes to that, like, you know, that competition in YouTube Shorts where people are like, you know, hey, my views, you know, keep in mind that, you know, there's you know, hundreds, if not thousands of people that are doing, you know, similar things to this. So, just keep in mind that you have to make sure that, that you're really bringing your A game and that you're like coming to play when it comes to, your shorts content or even your long form video content.
He's making 500 shorts in 8 minutes, and he's probably still not making $1,000 a month.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like with all of those shorts going up.
Right. Probably.
The shorts pays out so little.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So next question that we have, we got last two potatoes taken care of. So next up, we've got Hammy and Sammy. Love the rhyme there and that name. Super easy to remember. The type of channel is a guides channel for Pokemon Unite. That's 2 Pokemon channels back to back. The goal of the channel says I just wanted to use my characters for story dialogues, but then the channel turned into guides channel, so I went with that. The question is, how can I make my voiceless channel more engaging? I try to put a lot of text in it. I always try my best to put visuals and edits and put appropriate sounds and background music for it. So I'm just going to be straight with you here. Like, you can absolutely use voiceless channels. There's like silent channels on YouTube that do well. There's channels that just tell a story through the images or through the videos that they're putting together, but they just have like music playing and just the story is enough to keep people watching because they figured out how to, do that well. But when it comes to, trying to, like, if you're putting text on the screen, that means that people need to know things. And since people need to know things, if you can, I would actually experiment with doing some voice stuff as well. Because if you're needing to use text in order to convey what it is that people are needing to know, then, you could be putting yourself in a situation that might make it, a little bit difficult for you. I'm looking at your channel right now, and it looks like you are getting, decent views on some of your videos. So in that case, maybe not. Hold on, I'm looking at them right now to see kind of what it is that you're doing. Yeah, like some of these, we got like, 800 views on one, 400 on another one, 600 on another one. So yeah, so people are responding to these. So, in that particular case, here's what you want to do. Because you are getting a response, which means that you have some data on the channel. So here's what you want to do when it comes to making your content more engaging. Go look in your audience retention reports right now. Go into your YouTube studio. Go into one of your videos that did well. Go into that particular video and go and look at your audience retention reports of that video and go look for places that people left. See how far they made it into the video. And then from there, start really trying to think about why you think people left during those parts. Do you think it was because they couldn't hear anything? Do you think it was because, they, maybe you didn't get the text on the screen fast enough, or maybe you didn't get to the point fast enough, anything like that? Like, it's really important to make sure that you, that you are, using that information. But another thing to consider is if you want to try a voice, but you don't want to use your own voice, now you have all of these AI options to where you might be able to put some AI voices to some of this too. Like, there's one called a really good quality one is called, I think it's called 11 Labs.
They could technically have monetization issues with that. With
the AI voice or
possibly.
Just the silent?
AI.
Well, if they're doing silent already.
The AI voice.
Yeah, if they're doing silent already, then they're probably going to... it would probably be something similar, I guess.
Travis,
so
MCP.
Travis, MVP in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you're doing fantastic. Says, we've been trolled for years. Nick's name is actually D, and D's name is actually Nick. I knew it. Got us.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be funny, actually. Yeah.
What our mom does. She
I know.
uses this all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, there's one called 11 Labs that has like really like great. It's like one of the best that I found in terms of the AI voice
11 Labs?
options. Yeah, it's amazing. But excuse me. But yeah, you might want to just try that and just see, if it makes a difference or not. It might not. People might enjoy your content because there isn't a voice. It's just the only challenge that I see there is, and keep in mind, I've never worked with your type of channel before, but the challenge that I see there,
prices are pretty fair,
is because you're putting text in there and that text is in a certain language, it doesn't carry the benefit of silent channels, which is like international reach, because there's no text or anything like that going on. So since you already have text in there anyway, I would experiment with some type of voice, if it's yours or AI or something, just to see if it makes any difference at all. Because you're getting results on your channel, you're getting views on your videos, so people are responding to what it is that you're doing. So from there, you got to start figuring out how to get a higher response. So because of that, I would definitely try that and just see if it ends up being difficult or not.
I mean, people might like you because you're not talking.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Like, you never know what people are, why they're gravitating towards certain pieces of content.
Right.
Test it.
Think Media in the house. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. Says, do you think that you would have any issues using AI voice if you're already monetized? I don't think so. I think the real issue comes from when you're actually applying. If you already have a channel and you're using AI voice, and I'm just like, I don't know this for a fact, but I don't see that there would be any problem. So for example, okay, let's say that I wanted to upload an extra video per week. And I was like, hey, in order to get this video up per week, I'm going to use an AI voice for it. And I'm going to have somebody just like make that video and then get it up. I would be 100% comfortable doing that. And I wouldn't worry about like, losing monetization over it or anything like that. So yeah, absolutely. I think if you are monetized, I would be willing to risk that personally. But if I was in the process of trying to get monetized, then in that particular case, I would definitely, either add my voice to it or add myself on camera or something like that, at least to get through that monetization process before I went full 100%, automated on that. Next. We've
Things
got,
are going to get weird with all this AI stuff.
Oh man, it's going to get so weird.
Yeah, I'm looking for, it's going to get weird and it's a little bit scary, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, totally.
I'm here for it because, there's, and we talked about this before, like all these tools are coming out.
Yeah.
And as everything kind of shapes up and comes together, like, man, it's going to be able to increase the speed of our workflow.
Yeah.
I mean, even coming up with like thumbnail ideas and just different, like we're doing the music stuff, right? I'm making graphics for that. Like, man, it's just the speed in which you can make things now.
Yeah.
Just to brainstorm the ideas. Just like, I wonder what this would look like. And you just, oh, wow, that looks great. I'm going to work on that.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I love it.
Even fun stuff like what we were talking about today, where people are using, if you're familiar with Photoshop, they have this thing called generative fill.
Yep.
And basically what some people are doing also is they're creating these false environments. So like, let's say, for example, if you're sitting in front of the camera and you're talking to the camera, then, the camera's going to see like a certain amount of things. And then what they'll do is they'll kind of mask themselves off. They'll actually do like a slate to where it's just the environment first, and then they'll mask off the area where they are going to be in, and then they'll have Photoshop generative fill change the entire environment that's around them. Maybe add a sofa over here, maybe add like, a window looking out over a city over here and things like that. Yeah. And then like when they're on camera, like it looks like they're actually in that environment. It's crazy. Yeah. So like even little things like that are really going to have some very interesting, interesting things coming through.
Like, because there's
Roger Wakefield in the house. What's going on?
Roger Wakefield, what's going on, man?
StreamYard in the house too. What's going on?
StreamYard, what's going on? Yeah, with the AI, some of the creative tools are ready. I feel like it's just, there's so many creators who are taking those AI tools and they're making incredible things with them.
Yeah.
Like, I follow a bunch of guys on Twitter, and they're always linking out to these AI artists who are taking all these generated images and making crazy videos with them. And like the endless zoom outs. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Where like they'll start at one thing and they'll zoom out through like, I don't know, 100 different worlds.
Yeah, people do that manually too.
Yeah, they do that manually.
Yes, people
too.
do that on like iPads.
Yeah.
It's called Infinite Paper, I think, is the app.
Yeah, so they're doing all that stuff, but they're making insane videos. They're making things that you previously wouldn't see. So I love that it's opened up like it's unlocked another level of creativity. Yeah. And that really excites me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And Roger says, thank God AI can't do plumbing.
No, not yet.
Should we tell them about the video we saw today?
What is it? The robot plumber?
The robot plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Roger, you're on borrowed time, buddy.
He's just kidding. We didn't see that video.
But I'm putting it out into the universe.
So you know what they probably will have though? Yeah. They probably will have like AR to where you can like look at it and be like, hey, here's my plumbing. And then it'll be like, oh, hey, here's the problem, fix this. But I guess they can't actually see in it, I guess. I don't know.
Listen.
Yeah, who knows?
If you're in the trades, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
At least for a while.
You can probably you're probably gonna be able to use AI to find problems and problem solving.
Hey D, I was wrong.
What?
The battery doesn't last long enough.
Okay, give it to me.
So I'm going to send it to you. So if you want to hold this for a second, I got to get my power. I got to get my power cable out.
All right. So I'm going to go underneath here and I'm going to grab some questions. Hey, StreamYard, how you doing? So StreamYard says, what do you think about the rise of Kick and XQC's $100 million deal for the future of live streaming? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with anything with Kick on that one. I know that a lot of people are going over there, but I don't know anything about the deals. Going through the stream here. What do we got?
Any extra platforms that pop up is a win for creators.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, though I think the more platforms we have, the better, because you don't know where you're going to find your audience. And some people, like people,
and it keeps the platforms in line too.
It keeps the platforms in line, but also like if you have more controversial content, maybe you're getting demonetized on YouTube because of the type of content that you make. Go over to Rumble, right? So I think it's cool that now we're getting platforms for whatever type of content that you want to make. I think that's cool. Do you need to plug that in? Did you throw it under?
Yeah, I sent it under there already. All right. So you're good. Thank you.
I got it.
So the next question that we have is from Sass Magus, I think is how you say that, or Magus. And the goal of the channel is to monetize, hopefully. And the question is, when using the remix function on my Android phone to make a 15-second short of a video, how do I up the quality? Actually, better question is, can you even make it better quality? No. Example, I take a 15-second remix of a 3D game like Rust, for example, but everything is pixelated because YouTube clips it at a lower resolution. Is this fixable? I have a YouTube app running at full resolution. Yeah, so when you clip it out, then basically, or when you remix it, then you're just getting the quality that they give you there. So I haven't seen a feature in there that allows that. So to my understanding, no. And I make it part of what I do to make sure I'm clicking and looking at everything. But it's possible there might be something in there, but I've never seen anything in there that gives you some type of like quality option when you're doing a remix. Next, we've got, let's see here, Aggress from Stress. They do bi-weekly content, but on YouTube for a year or more, they do inspirational content. The goal of the channel says I want to inspire others with my story, but also hope to monetize it. And the question is, will I be able to change the thumbnail on shorts in the future? No. I mean, it may be. But in terms of how the system is currently set up, no. So in the past, we were able to upload custom thumbnails. Now we can select it at the time of upload, but we cannot change it after it's already been selected. So I personally, I've been back and forth on this in terms of like how I feel about it, just kind of, struggling in all directions there. But I think I'm kind of resting on that. I think it's kind of silly that they don't, like, if they're going to show shorts on home pages, and if they're going to show shorts in like search, on the search page, and like if they're going to show shorts on other pages where thumbnails are, then in my opinion, they should allow us to have thumbnails that also show in those parts if we're going to be competing, or on those pages if we're going to be competing with other videos that have them. If it shows up in the feed, then yeah, it's not going to show up there anyway. So kind of the whole argument with the, with shorts is that it lowers the barrier of entry for content creators because you don't have to worry about thumbnails and things like that, which is great for the feed. But if you are going to be showing that content elsewhere, in my opinion, I think that you definitely should be allowed to add, fully custom thumbnails in there. And then from there, if they want to add just like a little shorts logo or something to let people know that it's a short, that's fine. But I think that they should allow us the opportunity to compete with the videos that they're putting us next to, if they're putting us next to those other videos expecting us to compete. So it's almost like they're not giving us the tools that we need in order to do the job when we're competing next to other content that, that does have a, thumbnails. Hey man, Sammy, my pleasure. Thank you for the super chat. So yeah, that's just my personal thoughts on that. But yeah, as of right now, we can't change, the thumbnails after it's already been uploaded to the platform. So you have to do that during the upload process. And right now, we can only select a screenshot. So I'm just experimenting right now. I just did a thing. I just posted it on TikTok shortly before the stream. If you want to check it out over there, follow me while you're there. But basically, I'll see if I can show it to you now. But I'm actually playing with something just to see, how it does. I have to shorten it just a tad in order to get it into YouTube Shorts. But I put this little slide in front of it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but it's kind of the one in the middle there. It's kind of moving up and down. So I put this little slide there, and then I have it to where that slide hits. And then as soon as the slide hits, it's like a millisecond. And then I slide up there in the same direction that it would slide up if somebody was sliding the thumbnail or the feed up. And I'm doing that so that I can select that thumbnail, in places that I need to. So I'm just going to do that and, just see how people, respond to it, see how, the platforms treat it, see if it matters or not. But just make sure that you are considering like, hey, when I publish this, I'm going to need to take a screenshot. So based on what it is that I'm showing, what do I need to include in this in order to be able to select like a really good screenshot that would actually pull somebody into this if they were, seeing it from somewhere else. Let's see here. So the next question that we have, hey Nick, you helped me since day one. I watch your videos every now and then. Adaman, thanks for swinging by the stream, man. Glad that you are glad that you're enjoying the content. Glad that you got value out of it. And congratulations on your, I see you're verified now. Congratulations on your success too. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Rise Flashes Fishes. Thanks for the super chat. Says, I'm now leader in my fishing niche and my growth is limited due to niche size. Foraging videos have potential, but when I post them, my audience are less interested and YouTube doesn't recommend. Any advice in this situation? When you have fishing season, try to make extra content. Try to do that. Try to talk about other things fishing. So for example, if your typical videos are like you going out and fishing, and that's why you're needing to use the foraging content, then in that case, maybe start talking about lures, start talking about, fishing poles, start talking about other things related to fishing so that it's still in alignment with those people that you're trying to reach. I would give that a shot versus making content about something that, people that are into fishing might not care about. So, the whole idea with YouTube is just thinking about if somebody watches video A, what's the likelihood of them watching this next video that I'm going to publish? And if they watch that next video that I'm going to publish, what's the likelihood of watching that one that I published before? And when you can get all of that lined up, then it really creates a great opportunity for you, because then it makes everything that you do binge worthy, so that people can go in and they can just get lost in your content if they enjoy what it is that you're doing. So because of that, if the foraging content is causing a disconnect, then in that case, if it was mine, I would just be like, okay, unless there's a very specific reason that I'm putting this foraging content on here, if it's all just based on, I'm trying to grow the channel or just trying to, get, a bigger audience, then in that case, I would just lean into things that are related to, fishing, and really just think about it through this lens. If somebody is watching fishing videos and they're watching, people out in the world fishing, that might be a different type of viewer than somebody that's just like looking for fishing poles and looking for reviews on fishing poles and different fishing lures and fishing lines and everything else with fishing. That might be different people, or there might be a lot of overlap there, right? To where it's like, hey, I'm watching fishing videos because I couldn't go fishing this weekend, so instead I'm just going to watch this person fish, right? But I'm still, maybe looking at fishing poles and looking at lines and maybe, stress testing, different fishing lines, things like that, might be, interesting content for, people that are into fishing. But I would basically just try to line that up in some way with people that are interested in fishing. If the whole thing is, you've grown your channel to the point of, being a leader in the fishing niche. So, and you say that your growth is limited due to the niche size. I would say, I would actually argue against that. Fishing is gigantic. I would venture to guess that fishing just across the planet is pretty huge in terms of, the amount of people interested in fishing. So I would say that it's probably not as limited as you think that it might be. So I would just try to find maybe other, other buckets that you can fill, so to speak, in the fishing niche, if you can. Let's see here. Next up, we've got number 24, Aggress from Stress. Next up, we got number 25. We've got Fun Food Diary. They've been on YouTube for less than a year. The type of channel is a food channel. The goal of the channel is to share about affordable food destinations. The question is, I just recently signed up for Creator Mix. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Our pleasure. Dee's actually stepped away for a moment, but I'll thank you on behalf of both of us. My question is about free music from the iMovie app on our iPhone. Since the music tracks are free to use, how would we know if this music could also be used for videos on YouTube? If there are notifications about copyright claims, that is, the creator allows the music to be used on YouTube, would that also affect the performance of our videos? So if you get a copyright claim, it does not impact the performance of your videos. However, if you get a copyright strike, then in that particular case, obviously it does. So because of that, I personally would be a little bit weird about using music out of any app or out of any iMovie or anything like that.
I made a video about this.
Oh, I
made a video about this.
What's the word, D?
Because I made a video about this on my channel a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. A lot of apps that say that you can use their music have come back and started issuing copyright claims. So my advice would be, do not use music out of an actual video editing app, even if they say you can use it. That's my advice in the video.
Interesting.
Yeah, I stand by that. Yeah, there's too much free music out there available. YouTube Audio Library, Creator Mix. There's tons of resources to get free music. Get it from a reputable source and don't buy into the whole, oh, you can use it on our app.
Yeah.
It's our free app. You can use it.
Right.
Or even if you're a membership. I know there was one app in particular, and I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but their music library got sold to somebody, and then they came back and started claiming people.
Ouch.
So, yeah,
Ouch.
you got to be careful with that.
So next up, we've got, let's see here. We did this about music, so we're on number 26 now. And this is from Lil Crafty Nook.
Hey, Nikki.
Says they do greeting card making. The goal of the channel is to teach how to make and show others show others homemade greeting cards. The question is, I'm trying to create a course on Uscreen. There, I have 2 sections, beginner and intermediate skills. Here on YouTube, I have a mix. Is that my issue? Do I need to niche down even further? I'm just not sure how to do that. Thank you so much for your help. So if you have courses available on Uscreen for beginners and intermediates, then in that particular case, I would focus on, on your channel, the content that you make. Like, here's the deal, is you want to think about, okay, if I'm going to, be selling a course, I need to make content that the people that are likely to buy my course, that they would be interested in. Right. So because of that, start covering some, basic things for the beginners, and then make sure that you just do a quick mention of your course there to where you go in depth or in detail or something like that. Or that, you have the course, structure laid out to, educate them in a better way or something. And then for the intermediate skills, then of course you need to make content for people that are more intermediate. One thing just to keep in mind is, yes, you can have that type of content, no problem. You can have content that's for beginners, intermediate, and, like expert crafters if you would like, but it's helpful when you do focus on like one group, because when you focus on that one group, then everything you do can serve that group, right? Like me, I target people that are just getting started with YouTube. That's my thing, right? So because of that, like people, that are, trying to figure all this stuff out, like that's the people that I target with my video content. So because of that, one of the things that I'm doing, like the first course that I'm going to be putting out, is about monetization, because, a lot of content creators don't really know how, all the different ways that they can monetize their content. And this really, I got a really big, bright spotlight on this when I was doing my monetization streams and seeing all of the opportunities that people are missing. So because of that, that particular course is aimed at people that are starting YouTube channels that might not even be in the partner program yet, but are wanting to make money from their channels. And the whole thing with that is basically just learning how to do it and implementing some of the ideas so that as your channel grows, your income can grow with it. So in your particular case, I would focus on the beginner stuff, and with the intermediate, I mean, it goes back and forth, but as when you're a beginner, you're like trying to figure it out. So since you're trying to figure it out, maybe, in your case, since you're doing homemade greeting cards, those people are out there buying paper. They're out there buying, the ink that you print on or whatever it is that you use to draw on them. Like, they're getting all of that stuff. So what's an extra X amount for a course that you're going to put together to take them through it? An intermediate person, the difference there is they might already have stacks of paper. They might already have, all the ink or the place where they get their ink and things like that. And they might already have, other courses that they've already went through, or that they are, already, a part of. So because of that, it just kind of opens you up a little bit more. Of course, you can experiment in both directions, but the whole idea I'm trying to express is if you can target like a very specific group and say like, okay, I'm trying to catch you when you're here, and then I'm trying to get you to here through this information, then in that particular case, it becomes crystal clear what it is that you are, offering, who it is that you're offering for. And then you are also increasing the likelihood that the people that you're interacting with are also going to go into your course based on the things that they need, or the things that they need to know, or that they need to learn in your case.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing, man? Speaking of YouTube claims and strikes, they just sent that guy who was ripping everybody off to prison for 6 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Yep. 5 years. Yep.
He ripped off what, $20-something million worth
something
of
huge. Yeah, it was
false copyright claims.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what they did to fix that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So the Coding Whiz is our next channel here. And the type of channel is programming and coding. The goal of the channel is making entertainment videos to help people become better programmers. And the question is, hey, Nick, I wanted to ask, how do I get better at storytelling in my videos? I see a lot of YouTubers saying that storytelling is important, and I try to incorporate them into my content by leveraging my own experience with coding in the past, using examples of different coding scenarios, etc. But I try to come across like a robot, you could say, and the commentary sounds a bit boring. Excuse me. Do you have any tips on how to improve my storytelling abilities and just improve my commentary? I use a script as well in my videos in case you wanted to know. So the best thing that you can do in this case is watch a bunch of videos on storytelling. That's not my area. Like that's something that I'm working on myself as well. But when it comes to storytelling, I would just watch a bunch of videos because there's storytelling, which is like, hey, I'm sitting here telling you something, but then there's also structured storytelling based on psychology. So what you want to do is you want to learn that part of it in terms of the structure that you need to take people through, based on the psychology of, storytelling and how people stay interested in things over time. So I would just start watching a lot of content around that or listening to podcasts around it, reading books around it and so on. Because then that way you'll get a better understanding of that structure because there's tons of different structures around it too, but it'll give you a basic idea that you'll be able to follow to where you can say, okay, here's my script. Where is this conflict coming in, right? Where do I meet a guide, right? Let's see here, or where do I meet that thing that's going to help out or whatever the thing is, right? And you start, identifying these things in your scripts, and then you can start, kind of building around those structures.
That guy, I was just looking here, that guy, he claimed 50,000 songs.
Wow.
50,000 songs he was issuing.
$20 million for 50,000 songs? That's not bad. I mean,
so here's a question. All right, here we go. Here's a question in the chat. Forget the morality of what this guy did.
Okay.
Assuming he's going to have any of that 23 million left, and I'm going to guess he might have
probably confiscated a lot of it, unless he
was some
really smart, then he probably hid some.
Yeah. So the question to the chat is, if he had no morals whatsoever, and so this guy went to prison for 5 years over 23 million. Mm-hmm. Let's say he's got 8 million left that he hid somewhere. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe put it in crypto or maybe it's in Seychelles or something. Who knows? Would you go to prison for 5 years knowing when you get out you got $8 million?
Yeah, that's ripping off a lot of people, though.
I said forget the morality. I'm not talking about that.
Forget the morality. Are you saying would you spend 5 years in prison for $8 million, regardless of what?
That's what I said. Forget the morality. Just
like if D said, "Hey, here's $8 million. How many of you would spend 5 years in prison for $8 million?"
Yes.
How many would do it?
Right. A low security prison. So you're not in there with You're not in there with.
Oh, so basically, all you're in there. You're just under control.
You're in there with white collar crime stuff.
Okay.
Tax evasion, money laundering. You're not in there with the
violent offenders.
You're not in there with the 18th Street gang.
Oh, okay.
You're not getting shanked in the yard and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
No, everyone's like no. All right, here we go. In a heartbeat. I'd be right. Yeah, 5 years, man. I don't know. We just almost spent 2 years doing nothing and got nothing from it. Right?
Oh, that's so true.
Right?
Oh, God, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah, that's funny.
Depending on where you are in the world.
Nothing but sad.
Yeah, we got nothing.
2 years not doing nothing just to be sad afterwards.
To get nothing. Right.
Oh, that's great.
To come out to increase prices of everything.
Yeah.
And shortages.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Shortages. Yeah.
Right. So another 3 years.
Unstable planet.
Another 3 years to get $8 million.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, when you put it into that perspective, it's like, well, yeah, that actually,
right?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So Jazzy Beauty Studio and more, 2 years and we got nothing. Oh. So Jazzy Beauty Studios and more says they upload when they have time. Last 6 months is how long they've been making videos. The type of channel is beauty and more. The goal of the channel is to teach others about beauty, to earn from it, and for fun. And the question is, how can I reach the watch time 4,000 hours? And can I earn from YouTube before I reach it? Yes, you can. Before you reach 1,000 subscribers. Yes, you can. So YouTube has recently lowered the monetization requirements to 3,000 watch hours within a 365-day period and 500 subscribers. However, that doesn't give you ad revenue. It gives you all of their crowdfunding options. So as a part of that, just look at it kind of like a lower tier to their program, but you can get in with lower requirements now. And the win with that is you can get in and you can go ahead and start using some of those. And then as soon as you qualify for ad monetization, then you're already in. So you don't have to go through like an additional process to get in there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Most people are like, no, they wouldn't do it. No.
Yeah, I mean, that 5 years, I mean, depending on where somebody's at. Like, okay, so imagine if you have a kid and that kid's like 3.
Right.
That 5 years isn't worth it. right? Because then in
I
that
don't know,
case,
it's like a 5-year vacation. Depends on how you look at it.
depends on the kid, I guess.
Depends on
Yeah,
the
and your
kid,
yeah.
yeah.
But like you know, if you have like a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, and then you've got like 5 years, then you know when you come out, they're going to be like 8, 7, 8. So that's a big chunk of time that you're gonna miss out on.
I think it depends on your age too.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like if you're like 25
Yeah.
versus like you're 65.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I love, that sounds like a Mr. Beast video. Right? I locked 20 people up for 5 years.
Yeah.
And the last one
The last one to leave.
The last one to leave gets
after 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I locked 20 people up in apartment buildings. The last one to leave after 5 years gets $8 million.
iCast Enterprises, thanks for the super chat. Says, finally starting due to your encouragement, going to be focusing on a nonprofit side of IDRAST, International Disaster Rescue and Search Team. Oh, that's cool. Thanks for the education. My pleasure. Have fun with your channel. Keep in mind, when you're first getting started, things might go well or they may not go well. So because of that, just make sure you are very clear on who it is that you're making content for. Make sure you're very clear on what it is that you're trying to accomplish the channel and why you're doing it in the first place. And those things by themselves will keep you, motivated. And also keep in mind that when you first get started with all of this, some people come onto the platform and they have a lot of skills that they bring to the platform from, previous life experience. Other people will come onto here and they've never done anything like this before, and they don't watch enough YouTube with awareness to where they're kind of cued in on the things that work and don't and all that. So because of that, just keep in mind, some people grow fast, some people go slow. So just whatever your pace is, embrace it, focus on learning, focus on skill development, and focus on like really resonating with the people that you're trying to reach and, making videos that they respond to, and you'll do fine over time.
So Doug says there's a super chat question, but I don't see this super chat. Maybe you do.
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm looking in
Song
Streamsy.
says I'm a newbie.
Hey Doug, are you in Streamsy by any chance?
It says I'm a newbie with 197 subs. Are shorts more important than videos to gain subscribers? And how does monetization come into play with both shorts and videos?
Where is this? Where do you see this?
I've got it on the screen right now.
Oh, I can't see that. That's here. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't see the super chat though.
Yeah. What's the channel name? I'm looking right now because I can see the list.
Ryan Song. Ryan Song. I don't see anything here.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I'm going to refresh just to be safe.
Yeah,
I don't see it either.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see it in here.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't think that came through.
Yeah, I don't think it came through. I don't see it either on my end.
Let's see here. So next up on our list, we've got Honduras Walks. Honduras Walks says that they upload 1 time per week or more. They do walking tours. The goal of the channel is to create evergreen content for people who don't have access to the areas that I walk through. That's cool. The question is, I would like to know strategies of how to get non-subscribers to subscribe. Most viewers who watch my content are not subscribed, but I'd like to learn what levers might move this metric. So hold on, it didn't show in the chat. A Google issue. Yeah, it's not showing up in Streamsy either. Okay, so yeah, if Doug's saying it came through, so he saw it. So
that's weird.
Yeah, well,
I don't see it anywhere.
So really quick before we answer this one on the subscribers, what was the question that he pinned up there?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back. Go ahead and answer that. I'm gonna have to go back.
Okay, we'll get it on the next. We'll get it on the next one. So just pin it up there, and then I'll get it. But when it comes to converting people into subscribers, keep in mind the very first thing is they have to be getting value out of what it is that you're doing. People subscribe to channels for a bunch of different reasons. They have the value that they're getting currently from watching that video. They have what they expect to get from the video, and they also have like your archive that they can tap into, and they subscribe for that as well. So because of that, when you are putting your content together, somebody's like, hey, there's a bunch of walking tours on here and I want to see all of these places, then in that case, there's a reason for them to subscribe if they explore that. So what you need to do as a content creator, if you're focused on, getting the subscriber count up, is you need to spread awareness about those things. So you can do that in very subtle ways. The very first is you can say somewhere in your video, especially because you're just walking around. So since you're walking around, while you're explaining things, if you talk in your videos, then you can just say, oh, by the way, I have a whole channel filled with walking tours. So if you're enjoying this, remember to subscribe. And just saying that by itself can cause more people to subscribe to your YouTube channel. It's called a call to action. And basically the whole concept there, this comes from like, just like sales in general. But the whole concept is you are, telling people to do the thing. So when you're calling them to take an action. So when you are doing your walks, just remind people, you don't have to do it a bunch, but just remind them that, hey, I put out tours like this every week. And you can also get on the community aspect. Hey, if there's anything that you would like to see, make sure that you let me know in the comments, things like that. So then they're like, okay, wow, he's like, interacting with people here. He's actually taking requests, those sorts of things. That can also cause people to subscribe more. But at the end of the day, just asking, and then of course, adding value and making it clear that you have an archive, and that you update on a regular basis. Those two things by themselves can also go a long way when it comes to, people, converting over into your YouTube channel.
All right.
What was the question?
I have the question here. Rayan Song says, I'm a newbie with 197 subs.
Congratulations on your first 197.
Off to a great start.
Yep.
Says, are shorts more important than videos to gain subscribers? And how does monetization come into play with both shorts and videos?
So you'll make more money on long form videos if you went view for view. So keep that in mind when it comes to money. But when it comes to shorts, if you have a high performing short, it can get lots of views very fast. So because of that, you can generate more exposure to your YouTube channel from that. And in addition to that, YouTube is also in the process of opening up all the lanes for the bridge between short form content and long form content. And what that looks like is when people are interacting with your short form content, if they're really enjoying it, then in that particular case, YouTube is more likely to show them your long form content as well. So like if somebody subscribes from your short, for example, or they go to your channel page and they start watching stuff, all of those types of things will, can cause YouTube to start showing them some of your long form content. Now, when it comes to shorts, they are a great entry point for new content creators because it removes one of the barriers that people have, which is learning how to get people to click. So the difference between long form content and short form content is when it comes to long form content, people have to choose. They have to make the conscious choice. One, they have to even identify it in the first place as something that they might be interested in. And then they have to decide, is this something that I want to watch or not? And they're sitting there and they're thinking about like the actual thing itself, if that's important to them or not. They're looking at timestamps, those sorts of things. Maybe they're even watching the auto preview that YouTube shows. And they're sitting there and they're just deciding, am I going to click into this or not? When it comes to a YouTube short, it's different. And this is where the reach on YouTube shorts can be a win because it slides up and then bam, there you are, right? You've got them right there in your video content. They just met you. How are you going to grab their attention and pull them through your short? Keep them watching your short and enjoying your short. How are you going to give that viewer a good experience there? So between the two, it's easier to get people to respond to a short because you only have to work on one skill set for that, which is, grabbing somebody's attention and making that good video. I guess that's technically two, but grabbing somebody's attention and making that good video that's going to create a good experience for them or make them want to continue watching. When it comes to the long form content, it's a whole different thing because you have to, you don't have to, but it's helpful to have like strategies in place for like what you're publishing and when. It's helpful to, be a good thumbnail maker. It's helpful to have some type of copywriting experience. Those things aren't required, and you can hack all this stuff. And I'll tell you how to do that in a second. But having those types of skills, it's helpful when it comes to getting attention for long form content. But if you are like, hey, I'm going to do some shorts and long form content, which is what I recommend, so you can get the reps in, so to speak, on long form too. Hop in the ring and lose some rounds, right? But basically, the idea is in order to hack the titles and in order to ensure that you're writing compelling titles, I actually just made a video about this, about things to do daily to grow faster on YouTube. And one of the things that I mentioned in there is study YouTube. Go and look at performing videos on all the channels that you respond to. Go and look at how they're writing their titles and look for structures that would apply to what it is that you're doing. So for example, if you're watching Casey Neistat and he makes a video that says, I can't believe this happened. In that particular case, you don't want to mimic those types of titles, when you're getting started, because you need an audience in place, or it's helpful to have an audience in place for that unless your thumbnail's epic. But when it comes to, titles that are this, and this, and then you can just kind of replace the topic in that title, then it's like, hey, people really responded well to this video. So can I, take this title's inspiration and just kind of modify it a little bit to apply to what it is that I'm doing? Like, that's just a great way to, just understand how to write better titles by using people that are already successful on YouTube as a guide on how they put it together. And you can see the same exact thing. Like, if you look across different niches and different types of content that you watch, you can start to see like, the videos that perform, well, they seem to do these sorts of things for the, videos that people are going into. And then the same exact thing goes to the video content as well, to where it's like, okay, how are they actually structuring this? What are they doing when the videos first start? So like, if you study the platform, then, you're going to be way ahead of tons of people, because a lot of people, they just don't take the time to study. They'll watch, but they won't watch with mindfulness, to where they're like, okay, what are they actually doing here? So this video started, they're saying this, but are they trying to frame it in a particular way so that I'm going to think something as we get into, this particular video here, and just start really digging into, what people are doing. So, so hopefully all that helps. Next up.
How many questions have we gone through now?
Right now we're on 42.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, we're on 30.
Oh, you just
sorry. Yeah.
All right.
So
that kind of sucks. I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, disappointed in me.
I was thinking 42. I was like, all right.
Yeah. So the channel name here is My Yarn Loft, and they do crochet tutorials. And the goal of the channel is affiliate marketing and monetization. The question is, I see channels in my niche live streaming quite often, but YouTube Studio Analytics shows people don't watch live streams. Should I trust this analytics? Absolutely. How does live streaming help your channel? I haven't tried live streaming yet. So the reason, if it's showing that, the other type of content people watch and they don't watch live streams, then yeah, you either one, there's nobody offering streams around what it is that you do, or two, it could just be something that they're not into. In terms of the live streams for my channel, I have different streams that help in different ways. So this particular stream, for me, this is just a way to kind of give back in terms of, we get to sit here and answer your questions. And like, I could make a video for every question that comes in. However, it's just super easy to do this, right? And be able to just sit here and just answer very specific questions. Because if I'm making a video, that video is going to be made for like a broad group of people, to where it may go down on a specific problem, but it's going to be a specific problem or a misunderstanding or something like that a large group of people are having. But in this scenario, it allows us to be able to answer very nuanced questions to help solve problems that people are having that may or may not be worthy of like an entire YouTube video. Right. In addition to that, these live streams are also great. When Dee and I are doing them together, gives us a chance to, just hang out, and things like that, which is cool. So
yeah, we kind of make a day of it.
Yeah, we make a day of it.
Yeah, we got well, like we get up, like he comes into town, we have coffee, we eat, hang out for a while, because we don't get to see each other a week. So yeah. Like, you could just stay at home and make videos.
Right.
And I wouldn't see you.
Right.
And I mean,
I mean, you wouldn't lose out too much, but
I mean, I could be home.
I would. But you wouldn't.
I mean, I could be home, like, watching Netflix or something right now.
Right. Yeah, you could.
So answering YouTube questions.
Right, I know, right? Yeah. You should be watching Netflix, too,
with you.
Actually.
What did you think about Silo?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was great.
Exactly how I thought. We talked about that.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
It's exactly how I said it.
Yeah, we can't say it for the people that haven't caught up on it, but if you're watching Silo and you haven't caught up yet, this last one, you're gonna love it.
Exactly what I said would happen.
Yeah, there was one part that I didn't expect, but as soon as it happened, I recognized it. But I can't talk about it, but we'll talk about it after the stream. But there was one thing that happened, and as soon as it happened, I was like, wait a minute. And then it was like, oh, okay. Oh my gosh, I see what's going on now. Holy cow. Oh, she's realized. Oh, wow. And that was great. Yeah. Epic.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that's in terms of streams helping my channel. So this live stream does that. And then the news live streams, those are great because they've added revenue to the channel. In addition to that, that's a unique offering that I have on my channel. So when there's, enough news or there's news that's like worthy of, making the content about, then in that case, having those news segments go out is fantastic because one, it's extra content for the channel. Two, it adds value to you guys by keeping you up in the loop of what's happening on YouTube. Three, that content adds views, watch time, subscribers, and revenue to my YouTube channel. So because of that, those lives, when I'm doing them live, sometimes I'll do videos, but when I do them live, that's the value that those add on my end. And then for the monetization streams, those are also, good for like watch time. Those are good for watch time, but Those are good for watch time. But in addition to that, those are also, you know, like a unique offering because I'm the only person in the niche that are doing those. So so because of that, you know, that's just one of those things that help me stand out when I do those.
So Old Board just says, "Wow, I didn't realize how nerdy you guys were."
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea of how nerdy we actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, these are like wearable, full costume stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, he's
nerd.
He's modified this one a bit, but these are actually the Stormtrooper's like a prop replica.
Yeah,
like that's like a legit helmet.
Yeah, but I painted this one to be more like it's not a sand trooper, but it's just like a very weathered, really weathered, beat up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like full costumes and everything.
Yeah.
Like super nerdy.
Trish says, "What is Silo?" Silo is it's a show on Apple TV. The whole premise is it's people that are underground. They're in this underground silo, and nobody knows why they're there. They don't know how long they've been down there. Supposedly there was like this rebellion, and during that rebellion, they burned all the books, and they basically removed their history. So people are like born into this, and it's just how it has been since they were born, and they don't have any reason why they're down there. When I first clicked on it, I thought it was going to be stupid, and then as soon as I started watching it, I'm like, holy cow, this is pretty good. But yeah, definitely recommend it if you have Apple TV.
I want to read the books because books are going to have a lot more detail about it.
Yeah.
But like the first
books don't have sound effects.
I have sound effects
and tension music in the background. Yeah.
Well, I'm a little offended by this. It's a little early for Halloween, don't you think?
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So let's see here.
I just put this stuff on sometimes and just walk around the studio.
Just hang out.
Just hang out. Like there's a certain sense of like, I don't know, you just feel pretty cool when you're just sitting like in a Stormtrooper outfit and just like watching the internet. Like dressed like a Mandalorian and just sitting out by the pool. And everybody else
hanging out looking at your phone.
Yeah. It's kind of like hanging out, feet up. Everybody else is like, swimming, looking at you like a weirdo.
Yeah.
And you're just out there.
Doing your thing.
Doing my thing. You. Just out there, yeah.
So Pixie Dust Travelers, our next question. They do travel content. The goal of the channel is to provide entertainment and a resource for travelers to make it a job. And the question is, when do creators hire a manager? I know some YouTubers have them. When you get too busy to manage everything. So, some people will do this in advance if they have, the money to spend. But, in a lot of cases, it's not even going to be needed until you start having a lot of stuff going on. So, like, for example, if you have like an entertainment channel and your channel blows up, you're going to have a different experience than if you have an educational channel and you blow up. Yeah. So, if you have an educational channel and you blow up, you're going to be spending, less on like management and stuff, and you're going to be spending more on like help. Right, to keep everything rolling and keep everything organized and all of that. When it comes to like an entertainment channel, those people, they end up on TV. They end up doing interviews and like all this other stuff. And they like the demand for them is higher, and because of that, having some type of manager to kind of help them balance everything, especially when they have somebody with experience, it can just kind of help steer them in the right direction and help them really take advantage of the opportunity that they've been that they've gained. So in terms of like when, I would do that if you were, if you just get things to the point where like, yeah, this is starting to get out of my area where I'm willing to tread this water by myself. Like I'm going into the deep end here, and I need some assistance with this. That's where you would, that's where you'd reach out for some type of management help.
They want to know what the audio quality would be like with the Stormtrooper helmet on. It's not good. It's not good.
I guess you could put the one of the wireless goes in there.
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to, talk through that. Yeah.
One thing I don't
if we got one of the new Roadcasters over here,
that would work.
Then you could put a voice effect on it too.
Yeah.
And then it would be just on your mic. And then you could sit there and talk in the Stormtrooper voice.
Yeah. One of the things we don't have
we should do that for Star Wars Day next year.
Actually. Yeah. One of the things we don't have is a proper microphone in these, because a lot of these outfits, they'll have a microphone inside, and they'll put the little speaker like in their armor somewhere. So when they're at an event, they can speak and it comes out, just like you would hear them in the movies. They come into a speaker, but they do it in a way to where it sounds like the characters. But there are, and I know this has nothing to do with YouTube, but now you've got me going. You just tickled my thing. There's like, I don't know if you can see this. We have like, there's like fans inside of here. You can't really see it, but there's fans in here and everything to keep it going. Just no microphones yet.
Yeah, he makes like the full head to toe thing.
Yeah.
On my TikTok, I think it's still there. My very first video. Oh no, it's not there. Where did I put that? Maybe it's my Instagram. One of those two. I have a video of D and I dressed in like full gear, hanging out. Oh no, it is on my TikTok. Yeah, it's right here. If you go to my TikTok, it's the very first TikTok that I uploaded. Go and watch that, and you can see D and I in full gear, and we're hanging out at our local mall at the release of Star Wars. And just hanging out, you know, it was around Christmas time, and we're just like hanging out with some of the locals and stuff, taking photos and stuff. Super fun.
Yeah, so they sell small microphones and speakers specifically for this thing. It's like the Stormtrooper ones they sell makes you actually sound like a Stormtrooper. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Try that.
So next up, we got Misty Vale 550 says that they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to show fun, cozy games and help people if they have questions on the games. The question is, how do I make my playthroughs and game more interesting to keep people watching, and how long should the video be? So videos should always be as long as they need to be. I know that's kind of like a weird answer, but when you have a video and the video's finished and you're like, okay, that's exactly what you know what it is, then in that case that's good. But if you make a video and you're like, you know what, I should probably add a bunch of stuff to this, then in that case it's like, okay, well, should you really add stuff to it, or you know, maybe you should try taking stuff away before you add to it. Like, you know, why are you adding that stuff? Is that stuff still going to add value to the viewers, or are you just adding it because you think the video is too short? Like, you know, keeping all those things in mind. But, you know, a video should be as long as it needs to be. You say half hour or a couple of hours in terms of a video. Yeah, so that, again, that's on you. You say I'm an older person playing games like Dinkum Ranch and Rivershine and Coral Island. So with those, if you want to do like, you know, 30 minutes or an hour, you know, playthrough, upload both and then see, you know, just how people respond and keep testing it. So it's like, hey, I'm going to upload a bunch of 30-minute videos. I'm going to upload a bunch of 1 hour videos of me doing like these Let's Plays and just see what people respond to best. But in addition to that, another thing that can help you make it interesting is instead of just doing a Let's Play, like do something, right? So for example, when your stream first starts or when your video first starts, present a challenge of some kind that you're getting ready to do. So for example, in whatever games that you play, like try to handicap yourself in some way to where it's like you're gonna, you know, try to complete the game or complete that level or whatever with just this, or you're gonna try to do it with only walking in a straight line, or you're gonna try to do it without going inside of any buildings, or you're gonna try to do it from mostly inside of buildings, or you're gonna try to do it where you hide the whole time, or like whatever the thing is. But just try to come up with, you know, different challenges that you can do that give people want to watch. So for example, you know, somebody comes into a video and you're like, hey, I'm going to try to do this and let's see if I can do it. Then in that case, it's like, okay, well, hey, well, I'll spend a few minutes and see if they can, you know, pull it off or not. And it just gives people more of a reason to watch compared to like, hey, just watch this person play a game. So people do like to watch people play games, but when you can introduce, you know, something else, then it just levels it up a bit. Here, Demon's Row, thank you for the super chat. Says, what mics do you recommend for interviews when you travel? I have the Go ones you mentioned. I hate the blue light flashing, and sometimes if people move, it gets muffled.
Okay. You can attach microphones to those.
Yes. Yeah, you can attach the, you can plug in additional mics that you can run underneath your clothing. So basically,
microphones.
Lavalier mics. Yeah, so you can put that in your pocket, and then you can run that microphone up underneath your shirt, and then you can clip it, you know, somewhere up here. Or if you're wearing a jacket or a hoodie or a collared shirt, then you can clip it to something, you know, on the outside there. They also have, for the actual mics where you use like the magnet and you connect it, you would still see the light there. But if you're using just the microphone, the mic itself is super small, and then you just have the cable that you have to hide. Yeah. So you might want to try that. And with those microphones, I believe they allow you to record directly to the box too, don't they, as a backup?
I think so.
Where you can do like one signal that's like a little bit lower to where if it screws up, then you can have the other one. Yeah, so you might want to also make sure that you are recording directly to the device as well as into your camera. Or recording to something external and then syncing up later so that you can have the audio tracks separated. So then you can, you know, in case you end up talking over the person or something like that, or vice versa, then you can have that extra audio to work with.
Okay, so there's two things I want to add to that. Number one, if you had the Rode Wireless Goes, they come with the little dead cat, the little furry thing. Clip that on there, because what that furry thing does is it stops some of the wind from coming in. So if you're getting muffled noises, it could be from wind. or it could be just from rustling
Yeah,
around
moving
when it
around,
closed.
yeah.
But if it's coming from wind, that little furry thing that came with it, clip those on there, and it will get rid of a lot of the wind.
Yeah.
Regarding the lights, now this is a big roll. It's not duct tape. A lot of people think this is duct tape, but it's called gaff tape. And you can go to Amazon and get tiny little rolls of gaff tape. They're just a few dollars, and this stuff is not sticky. This is not stick. They use this in a lot of studios. It's not sticky, and it's a great thing to keep in your bag. It's easy to put on, easy to come off, and you can just take a little piece and cover that little blue light. Get a little black roll, and you won't even see the blue light at all. And when you take it off, and it's not going to be sticky. Gaff tape doesn't leave residue when you take it off.
Oh, it's inside interviews. Okay. Yeah, so you mentioned that you have the expensive cordless ones. So yeah, with those, same thing. You can just plug a lavalier mic into those. That Rode actually sells those, and then you're good to go. In addition to that, since you are doing them inside, like another thing that people will do is they'll use shotgun mics. So if you're doing like a sit-down interview where you have like a person here and a person here, if you don't want to do the lav mics, then one thing that you can do is you can have two different shotgun mics. Technically, you can do it with one if you're close enough together. But the shotgun mics isolate the sound into the area in front of the microphone. So you have to be really careful and make sure that everybody's, within that area and that it's close enough to pick you up comfortably. So that's why you might want to consider using two, running them into something like a Zoom, like H4n or something like that, and then separating everything out, once you get it to edit it. But with that, you can actually hook up to shotgun mics. So Rode makes those as well. And you can just get them to where they're sitting just out of frame. Keep in mind, if you take that path, you're going to be rolling with a lot more gear. So if they're coming to you, not a big deal. But if you're having to actually go to them, then it creates a lot more stuff. Because if you do the shotgun mics, you're also going to have something to hold those shotgun mics. So then you have to introduce like stands into
you can get the little
scene.
interviewer mic. What is that called? You've got one.
Oh yeah, the Rode, but then you got to pass it back and forth. So that
solves the problem.
It does solve the problem, but it looks kind of like a reporter versus it just being like, hey, we're having a conversation.
It's called the reporter, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Rode.
I think it is actually.
It's
Yeah.
called
I
the
think it is
Rode reporter.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to tackle something here in the chat. So Katie's Kitchen says, did they make the
Okay, you take flights. Yeah, then in that case, I would stick with using the wireless that you have, but then just getting the Rode has the lavalier mics that plug into that. Just pick up a couple of those, and that should solve your problem.
Yeah, so Katie's Kitchen says, did they make the little furry things, little windscreens, not the sponge puffs for headset mics? I do my voiceovers with a headset, but I still get background noise that I have to filter out. Okay, so those don't filter out background noise. The dead cats, that's a little furry thing, that's to help get rid of wind. So you have two different levels. You have the foam that goes over a microphone. That helps reduce that a little bit and helps get rid of some of the P sounds that come out. But then when you're outside, if it's windy, sometimes that foam is not enough, so they sell the little furry things. It's called a dead cat. And that will stop a lot of the wind from coming out. So that's not going to actually get rid of background noise. The best, look, if you're doing voiceovers, if you can do this, and I don't know how you're doing your voiceovers, but like if you want a quiet place to do it in your closet. All the clothes that you have around in your closet just kills the sound. So if you can go sit in your closet and record, like you can hook a microphone up to your phone. Right, get a microphone, hook it up to your phone, go into your closet and do a voiceover. Man, it's going to sound fantastic. You just got to figure out the placement between where the microphone goes and where your mouth is going to go so you don't get wind sounds on it. But once you find that correct placement, a closet full of clothes, it's like a cheap sound booth.
Yeah, you can do it under a blanket too.
Yeah,
Same
get
idea.
under a blanket, all of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of different ways to do that.
So next up on our list here, we've got, let's see here, we got Misty Vale 550. I think we did this one already, playthroughs. Yep, we did. Okay, so next up, we've got Playing the Mom Game. Playing the Mom Game, they do lifestyle and loosely educational content. The goal is to share practical tips to moms to make their lives easier. The question is, what's the difference between adding subtitles in studio on the same page where you can add the end screens and cards versus the subtitles that just show up when someone isn't watching with full volume on? How important is it to add them separately? So the difference is when you add them in that particular part of the process, then you are just going ahead and uploading the subtitles that you've added or the captions that you've added. When YouTube adds them after the fact, then YouTube is adding them based on what their system thinks that you're saying. So sometimes, because it's all automated, sometimes their system is incorrect. Sometimes it'll get it really close, but maybe you say two words too closely together. You don't put enough emphasis on a part of the word or something like that. Sometimes it can think that you say the wrong things. So because of that, if you are going to use YouTube's auto captions, make sure that you're at least going in and double checking them, and that you are confirming that everything is still the same. And then after you do any edits and then you save it, then that will still count as, you know, captions on that video.
So I have another pro tip for people struggling with audio, especially if you're doing it on your phone and it doesn't sound that good. So go to, so Adobe has a new product that they're rolling out. And I think it's currently
free. It's out. Yeah, it's out.
But it's free,
ready to roll.
but I think you have to request access to it. So I think it's podcast.adobe.com and you have to request access.
/enhance, and then you get it.
Okay, it's /enhance. So podcast.adobe.com /enhance. And you can upload your audio clip, and Adobe will do its magic through AI and make your audio clip sound significantly better.
Yeah.
It's not 100% perfect sometimes, depending on your situation, and it can't work miracles if you've got a ton of background noise, but it does an amazing job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth trying out. It can make the difference between your audio sounding like, so-so audio to sounding really good.
Really good. Yeah.
Really good.
Lucas Campbell and Basketball Legends is our next channel here. They upload when they have time. They do gaming and with their brother type of channels.
Hey.
And the goal of the channel is to gain popularity and money. And the question is, I need help to grow my channel, and I also want to know how to keep returning subscribers. So when it comes to growing your channel, the thing that you just have to make sure that you are continually doing is working on your skills in terms of learning how to make thumbnails that will grab people's attention and help them identify that your content's about something they care about. 2, work on copywriting, watch videos and read articles and everything that you can about copywriting, because that's going to help you with titles. Watch videos about sales and presenting and public speaking. All of that's going to help you with actually presenting in your content. Watch videos on video editing. That's going to help you actually learn how to put the content together. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, read books on storytelling. That's going to help you be able to structure your content in a way that will pull people through it. And those things combined will help you grow your channel, because you're going to be arming yourself with everything that you need in order to get the response that you're seeking. In addition to that, how to keep returning subscribers is to keep giving them content that they came to your channel for in the first place. Keep in mind that losing subscribers is a part of being a content creator. So, you know, you're going to publish videos and some people are going to like them, some people are not going to. So because of that, some people will unsubscribe. In addition to that, some people are just going to unsubscribe because they just don't watch that type of content anymore. Other people are going to subscribe because maybe you said something in a video that didn't, you know, that kind of rubbed them the wrong way. Maybe you shared an opinion or something and it rubbed them the wrong way, so they're going to unsubscribe for that. Sometimes YouTube will delete subscribers if the channel is violating their terms of service or something like that. Maybe it's a bot account. Maybe the person that has the channel spamming comments all over YouTube, things like that. So YouTube will delete those channels, which will in turn delete the subscribes attached to that channel as well. So losing subscribers is a part of the game. What you do want to keep an eye on, though, is if I'm publishing videos and I'm just bleeding subscribers out of these videos, like I'm just losing mass subscribers to these videos compared to these other videos, that gives you a good indicator of like, okay, well, there's a reason that people are unsubscribing from these. So then you have to start, you know, kind of looking under the hood there and start trying to figure out, you know, why people are leaving with that particular type of content, and then deciding from, you know, your own goals, if, you know, continuing on with that content is, you know, something that you want to do, even though you're losing some subscribers every time you publish. Sometimes losing subscribers can be a good thing, as crazy as that sounds. So like, for example, if you are sharing like strong opinions and things like that, that can cause, you know, a lot of people to unsubscribe, but it can also cause a lot of people to subscribe as well. So, you know, losing subscribers in some cases can be, you know, a win, but in other cases, you know, not so much. Genealogy Dude. Been on YouTube for a year or more to do genealogy education and rock identification content. The goal of the channel is one more subscriber than me. The question is, somewhere YouTube asked to categorize your channel. I forgot where that is located. My channel is science education. Should I choose science or education? I would do science. Like if I was talking about science-based topics, I would do that. But if you're literally taking people through like legit educational processes, then in that case, you know, make it education. But if you're doing, you know, if you're talking about science subjects and you're just kind of teaching people things about science, then in that case, I would mark it science if it was my channel. This is another good one too. Katie's Kitchen said Toastmasters is a fantastic organization for learning public speaking and getting comfortable with it. Absolutely. StreamYard says, love your skill-based philosophy on YouTube growth. You don't see that often. So refreshing to hear somebody say, go work on your fundamentals rather than focusing on generic or tactical advice. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, like that's part of the thing. Like when it comes to all of this, like, you know, like I would love, and this is, you know, just a common example, but like I would love to be able to just pick up a guitar and just be able to just shred or just be able to just play something beautiful, right? Just being able to just like innately do that. But unfortunately, you know, in order to make that happen, you know, there's a lot of things that have to go into that.
Unfortunately, I smashed your fingers with a hammer as a kid and you don't have full dexterity.
Exactly.
So that's never going to happen.
Exactly. So now I have to actually like press on it this way and try to make it, you know, sound nice. But, you know, the idea though is like, you know, we would like to be able to just publish content and just everybody loves it and everybody responds well to it. But, you know, there's, you know, things that you have to learn how to do in order to even get people to, you know, respond even just a little bit. So, you know, because of that, some people, they're just innately in tuned and they can just come in and they, you know, already know, like, hey, I've been watching YouTube for a long time. I've been studying YouTube for a long time. I get it. They'll hit the ground running in some cases. But in most cases, people come on and they have to go through that, you know, process of learning how to do, you know, all the different aspects. And the funny thing is like, as you progress, if you're constantly or mostly in a state of growth, it doesn't matter how big your channel gets, you're still like, okay, now I got this other thing I got to figure out. Now I got this other thing I got to figure out. Now I got to figure out how to work with people. Now I got to figure out how to hire people. Now I got to figure out how to, you know, manage the people that I'm working with. Now I got to figure out how to, you know, take this feedback from the people that I'm, you know, working with. Now I got to figure out how to, you know, start scaling that whole thing up and bring on more people. And now I got to figure out how to start, you know, figuring out how to make products. Now I got to figure out how to do, you know what I mean? Like it just keeps going and keeps going. You know, the more that you want, the more, you know, the more that you got to learn.
Andrew Can, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, Andrew? Nice to see you, my man. Says Passport Haven is our next question here. They have a travel channel. The goal of the channel is to get monetized and make quality content. The question is, I'm getting audience rates over 100% on multiple videos, and my views are going up slowly. Is the algorithm a slow drip? So if you mean retention rates over 100%, if this is happening on shorts, that can be normal, you know, for the initial audience that, you know, they're showing it to. The trick there is like keeping that, you know, consistent. So like, you know, as they start showing it to more general audiences, are you still getting a similar response? But like if, you know, it's important to keep in mind that with everything on YouTube, that the more people interact with it, the harder it is to keep those numbers. So you'll see a lot of people that are like new to all of this to where they'll be like, hey, you know, I'm getting these like high numbers. What's going on? But it's like, well, those numbers are high for like 10 people interacting with it.
Right.
But like when you start scaling that out, they're just not getting that, you know, response that, you know, other content is getting even for those 10 views. Let's see here. So next up on our listy, we've got number 37 here.
37.
Yep.
We're going to make it to 40.
Undecided is the next channel here. They do gaming content. The goal is to grow the channel. The question, I've been thinking about making a new niche or a new channel for a niche that I found. I believe I would do very well in that niche, but I don't know how long it could continue without running out of content. Here's what you want to do. So if you have an idea for a channel that either the niche currently exists or that you want to create, write down 100 video ideas. If you write down 100 video ideas, that gives you almost 2 years worth of content. Write down 104. That gives you 2 years worth of content with a weekly upload. It gives you at least a year if you're doing 2 uploads a week. And then once you're in motion, you'll be able to add on to those ideas. But if you can write down an initial 100 video ideas that you would be able to make, not like, hey, these are like videos that if I had this huge budget I would make, but like videos that I could make right now, 100 videos that I could make right now with the stuff that I currently have and the knowledge that I currently have to make these videos. Write down 100 ideas. If you can do that, then you'll be able to stem off of those ideas later or repeat those ideas, you know, as you go through time. So write down 100 ideas at least to just kind of check the sustainability in terms of the amount of content ideas that you have. You can also use tools for this. So even though people might not be making videos about it or as many videos about it, you can also hop into YouTube search and you can start typing around, you know, that subject matter, and you're going to see ways that people are looking for it. You can hop in Google Trends and see how people are looking for it and get recommended different ways people are looking for it. You can use TubeBuddy to use their keyword explorer And you don't even have to be optimizing anything for search. The idea is that you use their keyword explorer to where you put in the basic topic that you're going to be working with, and then you see all of the recommendations that TubeBuddy gives you that people are looking for as well. You can also use Google for this. You can use a website called Answer the Public for this. You get 3 free searches per day if you don't want to pay for anything. And with those 3 free searches per day, they pull information from like Google and YouTube and all that, and they show you all the questions that people are asking around that particular thing. So in addition to the ideas that you come up with personally, you have all of these different tools that can also help you with that. Andrew says there's also TubeSpanner. TubeSpanner has a bunch of super helpful tools, but they don't have anything that is that's like the keyword explorer, so to speak, to where it just gives you a bunch of ideas, based on things that people are currently searching for. So unfortunately, it doesn't have that, but it does have a bunch of awesome, other helpful tools. Let's see here. Next up, we've got Biodiversity Law. They upload every other day. The type of channel is I post both long and shorts edited court hearing videos from funny to serious and shocking, showing viewers what happens in courtrooms around the country with text commentary. The goal is to make a little money and to make people laugh or say, what in the world? And the question is, I've been posting for about 2 months, 1,300 subs and 160,000 views. My target audience varies depending on the video. What's a great strategy for that? Some videos are males 30 to 50, females 30 to 50, or those like me who are entertained by watching courtroom dramas and comedies. So when it comes to the people currently interacting with your content versus the people that you're actually trying to reach, those may or may not be the same thing. So, right now you're saying that you're getting like 30 to 50% males on some videos, 30 to 50% females on other videos. So just that by itself tells you that, you've got, a nice varied, audience that's watching some of your content. What I would actually be looking at more is I would be looking at, one, if you're trying to make a little bit of money, make people laugh, then in that particular case, making sure that you're able to accomplish that. But 2, I would also be thinking like, okay, with the videos that I'm putting out, and you can use the grouping feature inside of YouTube to do this. So if you have court cases that are based around like theft, right? You mentioned that you have funny, hold on, what did you say here? Funny, serious, and shocking, right? So what you can do in your grouping feature, in your analytics, is you can say, okay, these are my funny videos. These are my shocking videos. These are my serious videos. And you can compare them together against each other to see like which content type in terms of, do people respond overall to funny better? Do they respond overall to shocking better, or do they respond overall to serious better? And then the one that they respond to the most, you can prioritize that because that one's a winner. And then the one they respond to, second, then you can decide if you want to keep that second and third or not, or if you just want to go all in on the one that performs the best. So because of that, the very first thing that I would do is I would start grouping the content together there and learning or understanding exactly what people are responding to. So right here, you said you didn't know about grouping. So on my YouTube channel, if you go to my Shorts tab, there is a short in there that shows you exactly how to get into this. It's really easy. All you have to do is go into your YouTube analytics. Once you are in your analytics, you want to click on advanced mode, which is going to be in the top right of your screen if you're on a computer. From there, you can click on compare and you can do all this there, or you can go and you can click into your channel name. And if you click into your channel name, then it's going to pop up a box. And on that box, I think it's your 3rd tab over, you're going to see groups. Click on that, and then you're going to have the option to create a new group. Click create that new group, and then put in, whichever category that you want. You can use this feature for a bunch of different things. But in your case right now for this particular thing, what you want to do is you want to add, the funny videos, add the serious videos into another group, and then the other ones into the other group. And then you can actually click into one of those groups, and then over on the right-hand side of your screen, once you do that, you're going to have the option to compare. So then you click on compare, and then you choose another group, right? And then it's going to show you them against each other. So the thing that you want to do there to where you can dig in the most is you want to change the table to a multi-metric table. This is going to be a little drop down kind of like halfway down your screen on the right-hand side. change that to multi-metric, and then it's going to stack the stuff up against each other, and it's going to change, the charts that you're seeing, up at the top as well. And then you're going to be able to get a lot of information. So there's going to be another little blue icon when you're comparing them against each other. And you can see this in your advanced analytics also, but you're going to see a blue circle with a little plus icon on it. If you click that, it's going to give you a bunch of other things that you can also add for that comparison. So for example, if you're like, hey, I want to see subscribers lost for these. So for example, if you're trying to figure out where you get that total gain in subscribers or the stuff that's causing people to leave, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to look at all the subscribers that these videos have caused to unsubscribe from my channel. So for example, this would help you identify if you find out that your primary group is your funny content, and then you start looking at, let's say, your serious content, and you're like, this is interesting. So the funny content's growing my channel, but the other content, the serious content's causing people to unsubscribe. Then you could look at that. One way that you could look at that is you could say, okay, well, people are subscribing for this funny stuff, at scale, but when they're presented with this serious stuff, they're like, oh, this isn't for me, and they're unsubscribing from that, right? So that's one way that you could interpret that. So just dig in there. You'll get a good handle on it once you start getting in there and messing around. But that tool by itself can help you in so many ways. You can test calls to action when asking people to subscribe. You can test where in videos you're asking people to like, and how you're asking people to like, and how you're asking people to subscribe. And you can compare okay, here's 10 videos where I asked people to subscribe this way. Here's 10 videos where I asked people to subscribe this way. Here's another 10 where I asked them to subscribe this way. Which one's the most effective? Here is 10 videos where I asked for the like at the beginning of the video. Here's 10 videos where I asked for the like at the end of the video. Which way do people respond to best? And you can do those sorts of things as well. You can really get into some fun experiments in groups. Let's see here. Next up.
You know what? We didn't talk about Canva.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about Canva real quick.
Yeah. So tell everyone what Canva's doing.
So really quick, if you are a Canva affiliate, you probably got this email. So one thing, just as a heads up, and this kind of bothers me personally. Me too. So one, I'm not a fan when companies have an affiliate program and then they turn off that affiliate program. I just think that's not cool in any way, shape, or form, because they use affiliates to help build the company up, and then they kind of throw them under the bus, right? So one, I think that's super uncool. Two, Canva doesn't appreciate you as a small content creator. So another thing that Canva is doing is, if you are in the Canva affiliate program, if you have under 5,000 subscribers or under 5,000 followers, then you are going to lose your Canva affiliate account.
If you have under 5,000
under 5,000 followers is how they framed it. So it could be subscribers, followers, whatever. Yeah. So but under 5,000 followers.
But if you have over that, there's still a condition.
Right. If you have over that, then another requirement that they put in place, which I also don't think is cool, is they are requiring people to make a video about them per month. So in order to stay an affiliate, and as a YouTuber, this is something that is a huge deal. And the reason this is a huge deal is because there are people on YouTube, I actually know some of them, that have made entire channels or entire series about Canva. And they did this to teach people how to use Canva. In exchange, they have affiliate links for Canva Pro accounts to where they've been able to generate money from those links. Now, even though those videos are still on YouTube, those videos are still getting views, and they'll still continue to get views from YouTube and Google and Pinterest and all these other places into the very distant future, Canva is essentially cutting off the monetization on those videos, which is the affiliate income, if that creator doesn't continue. Even though that YouTuber is continuing to spread awareness about Canva through that content that's going to live on YouTube for essentially forever, Canva is throwing the content creators under the bus if they are not going to make that one video per month about them.
Now imagine how much money they would have to spend to actually go out and have creators make a video a month.
Right.
That would be really expensive. That would,
right.
Right?
Right.
Like, hey, you got to make a video a month just so you can sell our product
right.
to get a percentage of that sale.
Right.
That's like
sell something else.
That is flat out just ripping the creator off.
Yep.
Instead of
I'm not going to use, because of this, and this is just a personal thing. Like I'm not going to use Canva anymore. I would use Canva sometimes for just like really quick stuff. Personally, I'm not going to use them anymore because I think it's cool. So Nikki connected right here says, yes, Canva's still booting me with over 37,000. I even made courses and ebooks suggesting them. This is what I mean. Yeah, that's another thing, like courses. Some people are like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do all this cool stuff. One of the things is, hey, go over here to Canva, use this because they make it easy, blah, blah, blah. Now, all of those people that have included that are going to have to either just take the L or they're going to have to go through the process of like re-editing those videos and kind of excluding that or finding another solution or whatever. Super uncool.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go.
Super uncool.
I'm just going to go out a little bit further and say that you're a crappy company if you're doing that.
Yeah.
So as creators,
unethical.
You're an unethical.
You're unethical.
Company. Canva, you are an unethical company to do this to your affiliates.
Yes.
Like there's no other way around it. And I know it's your right to do it, but that makes you an unethical company to do it. As creators, like we have a lot of options of companies to use, and I feel as educators in the space, I know companies don't get called out enough. There's a lot of shenanigans that actually happen with some of these companies.
Yeah.
But this is one of the situations where I think they definitely need to be called out.
Yeah.
Like 100%. If you have the ability to call them out somehow, call them out.
Yep.
Call them out because only through that pressure, maybe they'll reverse that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to use them anymore. I'm not going to recommend them anymore. I've got a video just recently that I put out where I have them in there, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I didn't put them in there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, if you're making Canva videos right now, would be a great, and they're cutting you out of the affiliate program. Right now would be a great time to start making videos about Adobe Express or about Place It. Right, all of Canva's competitors about why you should switch to their competitors.
Yep, you can hop on Google and you can look for just type in Canva alternatives, and then you're going to come up with a bunch of different options on other options that you can use.
Yeah, I don't want to support unethical companies.
Yeah,
it's tough.
So yeah, I just wanted to spread awareness about that and just let you know that for those of you that are using them because you're like new and because they have templates and stuff, like they don't support you. So do with that information whatever you choose.
Yeah, that's just really bad.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Really bad.
Yeah, not cool.
And okay, I can understand. I mean, it's still crappy to change the program.
I'm not saying support them or don't. I'm just saying I'm not going to, and you do whatever you choose.
It's just an unethical move.
Yeah,
and that's the company saying we don't care about smaller creators.
Right. Well, it's also
about creators who won't make videos for us for free.
Right.
Because it's free videos.
It is. It's free videos until they convert.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just terrible.
Yeah. Not cool. Yeah. So next up on our list here, we got World Wheelchair Warriors, previously Power Wheelchairs for Success. They upload every other day. The type of channel, support and educational. The goal of the channel is to assist wheelchair users in any way that I can. The question is, what are the pros and cons of changing your channel name? If you have an established channel, then in that case, it can cause a little bit of confusion, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So people are going to come into your channel because of the content. They're not going to come in, just because of your channel name. In fact, I was showing D today, there's somebody that I ran across on YouTube that was trying to game everything. Because, people are creative, and I appreciate the effort here, but it's just kind of funny. So basically what they did is they changed the name of their YouTube channel. I'm trying to find the screenshot now so I can tell you exactly what it is. But they changed the name of their YouTube channel to where it looked like, at a glance, that they were getting like, 1.3 million views over the course of like 30 minutes or something like that. Keep in mind, 7 hours later, it didn't work. 7 hours later, they still had like 12 views on the content. But, man, I can't find it, D.
I think
let's see here.
I think we got a problem with the camera leg. I think our scene is tilted a little bit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think the camera tilted. I've noticed the desk move a little bit.
Okay, yeah. No, that's not it. Yeah, I can't find it. But basically what they did is they changed their channel name to make it look like YouTube metrics, where it shows that, people, basically they're trying to make it look like a lot of people were interacting in the content when in reality nobody was. And, things like that. Even that attempt didn't work. So when it comes to your channel name, just keep in mind, like, if you make it easy to remember, that's the goal. Make it easy for remember so that if somebody, hey, Brad, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. They make it easy to remember. So like if somebody is wanting to tell someone else about you, just make it easy, right? So just try to make it just super easy to remember, and then from there, you're good to go. Also, try to make it unique, I should say as well, because what you don't want is you don't want people searching for it. Like if I told Dee about it, you don't want Dee to hop into YouTube search looking for you, and then you have like 800 channels with the same name, because then you'll just get lost.
Yeah. When I was looking up that channel earlier, the Pee Wee Penguin,
yeah,
I had a really difficult time finding them.
That's a common name?
There were. Yeah, but so the thing is they didn't put spaces in between their name.
Oh, okay.
Instinctually, I was putting like Pee Wee Space Penguin.
Okay.
And that was bringing up a whole bunch of other channels. And then I realized, there's no spaces.
Got it.
Right. Like don't be too clever with your name.
Got it. But
it's also important to note that when you're new, people are not looking for you. A lot of people will say things like, nobody can find me in search, or I can't find myself in search when they look for myself. Give it time, you will, but nobody's looking for you when you're new.
Let's see here. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I do want to remind you that VidSummit is coming up here October 3rd through the 5th. That's in Texas. I'm going to be speaking there. Yeehaw. So I'm going to be speaking there this year, talking about sustainability on YouTube, but a lot of other, content creators are going to be there, like Mr. Beast, Ryan Trahan, like Zach King is going to be there, sharing, all the stuff that they know about YouTube and how they grew their channels, things like that. But you can find out more information about that at VidSummit.com. But again, that's happening in October 3rd through 5th here in just a couple of months. So I would love to see you there if you can find the time to make it. And besides that, I do want to remind everybody here, for all your new content creators, because from this poll that we have, it looks like 40% of you are over 1,000 subscribers, 60% are under. So for those of you that are under, I do want to remind you that this whole process, if you can just work on your skills, I'll see you there, Renee. If you can just work on your skill sets, and you start working on just like how you can get more clear with the content that you're putting out, and how you can better resonate with the people that you're trying to reach, and those types of things, and you just continually work on your skill sets, it can really make a huge difference on how everything performs over time, because you get better at doing all of the things, and when you get better at doing all of the things, people can respond better, and just your understanding of what gets people to respond also increases as well, which will help you perform better. I have a video that I put out recently about 6 things that you should do every day to help you grow your channel faster. I really recommend that you watch that one, because I get into the specifics of exactly what you should be looking into in order to help you build those skill sets. So make sure that you check that out. And on that note, have an awesome rest of your weekend. Dee, fantastic stream as always. Yep, both of them there for good luck.
This should be the thing.
Yep. And really quick, Quam just hit 100,000 subscribers, said they can't wait to hold their silver play button, and thank you to TubeBuddy. Congratulations to you. High five and fist bump to you on your first 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Congratulations. That's a huge deal. Congratulations to you for that. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And just as a heads up, if you went to Daryl Eve's live stream last week, he's got another one coming this week. So as soon as we end this broadcast, it's going to drop you into the waiting area for his stream. So make sure you hit the notification there so that you can also join him when he goes live here in about 1 hour. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers. Rubbing it.
Rub it, D.
Rubbing it for luck.
There you go.